What's up, I always have a hard
Zapiel.
Raphael. I always have a hard time pronouncing his word. I don't even know why. I'm Hispanic and I have a hard time pronouncing his name.
Dude, I don't want to hear anything about your pronouncing anything. Have you heard my accent lately? I mean, really?
Let's see who all rolls in tonight.
Tools and Trash is in the house. What's going on, brother man?
What's up, Alex? Hey, Tools and Trash, if you want to what's it called? Hop on tonight and just send me your email and I'll add you on StreamYard. What's up, Matthew?
Starting to flock in.
What's up, Braden? What's going on, guys? Just waiting for some people to come in and we'll start the show. Just getting
good.
Getting to say hi to everybody.
Nicole, how are you this evening?
My wife.
Ah. I will try to be on my best behavior.
EJM, what's up, Demon? What's going on? You know, it's been a little bit over a week with the boot on, and it definitely kind of sucks. Though here's client graphics hopping in. Let's see. What's up, Chris?
Hey, how's it going? Doing all right?
Got a little space heater back there?
I don't. I just opened up the door to the house, and we'll see how it works out.
That's what's up, man. So everybody knows everybody every day. Client graphics. Alex, if you want to hop on, hell yeah. All right, there you go. Just send me an email or send me your email in here, and I'll add you to the list.
Perfect. He'll be my filler, especially when I drop out. I was informing 410 that I'm fighting a stomach bug, so bear with me. I'm riding the struggle bus.
No problem. It's that time of year. Things are going around.
It is.
Super exciting is 410 Auto Tech and the things that he's done so far this year and everything that he's done to reach that milestone of hitting 1,000 subscribers. So kudos, man. I remember, just 6 months ago, things like that, as you continue to grow and progress in your channel. I'm really excited today to be able to say that you've hit that 1,000 mark. And really, you as a person have come a long ways in your content as well as the things you've done in your life. And so I'm really proud of you, man.
Yep. Appreciate it.
Ooh, everyday.
I'm drinking Gatorade for Everyday Fleet Tech. I'm going to keep you hydrated and on this side.
Hey, I'll take it.
And you got the surge going on there, man. I can get those for
sugars.
$1 at the Dollar Tree. I remember the maintenance man talking about those a while back, and that brings back the good old 90s for me, I tell you. Every single time I see a surge.
Yeah, I actually got a whole case of these for my birthday. It was a whole 90s themed blowout, and I don't drink them often, and especially whenever I have a stomach bug or something. Doctor always says, keep sugars on the stomach and stuff like that. So I'll grab one of these and it'll keep me going.
So, I mean, I'm lucky for the next couple of weeks, as you guys already know, that I won't be at work. So I'll have less likely of a chance to catch anything that's going around in the shop. But I'm not going to lie, I 100% miss being at work.
Oh, yeah.
There's some jobs that I really do not like to do. Certain times, I just don't like to do them at times. But all those jobs that I don't like to do right now, I would definitely love to do right now, just because that's the type of person I am. I love working, and it's this time being off, not by choice already, has made me realize how much I actually do enjoy and love doing my job.
And that's the thing. Sometimes you have to miss something to really appreciate it more,
Well, at least this will give you the time to get a leg up or a foot up, no pun intended, on everything you're doing. You can do your training or any research or, read any manuals that you need to do in your spare time. But let's get some shout outs, some people that are joining you tonight. We got Rust Belt Mechanic in here. Tony, really appreciate you joining. We got Doug, Bama Mudmower in the house, Zaphael, Tools and Trash, as well as Nicole Y. And
we have your wife on here too.
Yeah, it looks like she's right over there in the corner. She's given some support for not only me, but you guys as well.
I didn't know if I come say hi.
Yeah, come on. You just join it. Everybody wants you to say hi.
I didn't know if I was allowed to say hi, so I was like texting you.
It's all good. You hop in anytime you want.
All good.
we
Hi,
dressed.
Everyday Flea Tech. I don't know your real names. And
I'm Chad.
Oh, hey, Chad.
We dressed up for you tonight. We just got back from a dinner party,
How
and
was it?
we were running a little late, and here we are.
Yeah, the kids are still up. They still think their dad's gonna come say goodnight to them. I'm like, no, he's working. Sorry, like, go to sleep.
Yep. Sometimes you just have to say, "I'm at work."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mine are being put down right now, so I get it.
God
I
bless.
made I made made sure mine was already down. She's out for the count right now.
Man.
She'll be
Hey.
sleeping until tomorrow.
Hey, this was a good time at least. Like normally this time the kids would be in bed, but with our little dinner party, we were pushing it, but
Life happens. Trust me, I know right now life happens.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry you're injured.
Yeah, you messaged us and you were like 10 Eastern time. I'm like, sweet, we'll get all the kids in bed. This will be perfect. And then my wife was like, yeah, we got a dinner party tonight and the kids are invited. I'm like, sweet, we will make this work. This is going to be a great time. Because, you know, I know Chad said this before, and Tony, I believe you're the same way, but we like what we do at work. We like our family. We like our separation between everyday life. But YouTube is fun. It's a hobby. None of us here do it full time. So our family is one of our number one priorities. And guys, we do love everybody that joins our channel, that hits the subscribe buttons, that comments, that gives us a thumb up or a thumbs down. But we do have a life. We are everyday people in our spare time. And, you know, if we like to wrench on things, if we like to break things, if we like to fix things, if we like to make things, that is something that each of us like to do. We all don't agree with what we do. We all don't disagree that, you know, entertainment is entertainment and life is life, but we all have a good separation of what we do. And the reality is that we have a life, we have a job, and we have to make money to support our families.
Yep, exactly.
All right, you have to say hi to one more person.
So my son here, this is get over here. This is my 15-year-old. He got a haircut. Here, come down, show everybody your haircut. Look at that beautiful blonde hair right there. He got a haircut today. You can't really tell, but he's got a lot of friends that sometimes pop in and out of the live streams. So if you see random names that sound like 15-year-old boys, it might be him. Might be his friends.
Okay, well, if any of you guys did the survey for his math project, thank you for doing that. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, my husband put something on his Instagram asking for some data. He's doing a math project on how many sodas people drink a day. So we threw one on his Instagram. So if you were one of the people, we appreciate it. He had to get 50 people for this math project. So people online, if you helped, we appreciate that. We got more than we needed. So thank you. All right.
Lately it's been 0, but it usually like averages between like 0 to 4, depending.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, that was the most common number. Most people said 0 between all the data like we collected. So I was also a 0. But I will let you guys hang out. Thanks for letting me say hi. I'm gonna go hang out.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye, guys. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving.
I did. I gimped around.
Yep.
You know what? Just be thankful that you're still alive.
Yep. But like one thing that I've always wanted to do, I think me and Chad talked before, like I enjoy giving back to other people, giving back to the community. Right now I think Redemption Garage is doing something similar to that. Justin Dow did. He's giving away some tools to the local community college, which I really do enjoy and I really do support. So maybe there's something I can help out with him to give out to the community, that community college that he's giving back to. And I don't know, maybe someday that's something that I've always wanted to do. Go back to my either high school or go to a local community college and give away some tools to like, you know, some students. And Rust Belt, I believe he's still having his he has a GoFundMe page for giving back to some students that are in need with a scholarship for tools, because that is one of the biggest burdens on young technicians right now is the price on tools and the quality of tools, what they select on going into the job.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that was the prime reason why I made my video on Baller on a Budget, where I recommended all the tools that I did. They're proven. They stand the test of time, you know, and it's what would actually get somebody into the career. Excuse me.
So, I mean,
again, y'all, stomach bug. So if you catch me
So if you
Stumbling
guys
on myself and choking. I'm sorry.
So
I
if you
promise I won't throw up on your channel.
If you guys have been watching me on Instagram, I'm doing 2 giveaways tonight. One giveaway is from Olsa Tools. I reached out to them and asked, hey, is there anything more than you can do than just a 10% for a giveaway? And they were like, you know what? Pick whatever you want on our page, and we'll assist you. And I've been super happy and super pleased that they're going to give away the 3-piece magnet rail socket organizer. And then I bought from the box cleaners
There you go.
a whole package to clean off your box. And so it'll probably be 3 giveaways. So the winner that wins the box cleaners, I'll be giving some stickers away for them. And then they were nice enough to send me an additional set of stickers. So we'll be giving away the box stickers and an additional set of stickers, and then the Olsa Tools at the same time.
Nice.
That's very cool. That's really exciting. Looks like we got some other people joining us. We got Jared Milky Way. Thanks for joining us tonight. We got Michael in the house, as well as Braden. We got DIY Misfit Mechanic, Matthew Collins. There we go. Daniel Tubbs saying and then of course we had EJM Demon in the house. So it looks like we got a full house here with at least 17 people in the chat joining us. Appreciate you guys joining us tonight.
Absolutely, Rust Belt. That is the one that I bought during your live stream with the guys from Toolbox Cleaners. So they had a good brain work tonight, dang it. I'm sorry. But they had a good coupon code. I think it was 20% off, something like that. So I left his live stream, went, bought those, and hopped right back on.
So what I'll do right now is trying to figure out which one I want to give away out first. Should I do the Olsa or should I do the box cleaner? Or should I just do the stickers first?
Whichever one you feel like. Grab the Olsas.
All right, I don't have them. They're
Okay,
pretty much grab whoever's information it is, and they're gonna send them off directly to their address. So I believe they're in Canada, so it doesn't matter if they're in Canada or the U.S. So it doesn't matter as long as you're in the U.S. or Canada, you're good for the Olsa set. I'm not as fancy as Ron, and I don't, with the random number generator through the live stream, not that great at it, but I do have a random number generator right here, and it's going to go from 1 to 200. So I'm going to hit it, and whoever picks it first is going to win the set from Olsa.
There you go.
I'm actually hitting 3 times, and then whoever picks it first will definitely win. So from 1 to 200, and you guys can go right now, and we'll do it for the next, let's see, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. 1. Let's see.
All right, so I got us in the chat with the start of the giveaway, so we'll be good to go right there. We know what the numbers are. And so I want to plug Olsa Tools as well. So right there behind me, because I don't know which direction I'm talking about, right there. So I got one of their 20-piece screwdriver sets. And I'll be sometimes doing a review on that here, maybe in the next couple of weeks. I got those in last week. I've been playing with them a little bit, been really impressed with the diamond tips on there. The one thing that really got me on those screwdrivers were I initially looked at them on the Olsa Tool website and was like, man, those are a dead ringer for the gear wrench ones. And I can tell you without a doubt, they are not the gear wrench screwdrivers. They are completely different from them. The handle's a lot different. The shank is a lot different on them. And if you ever really look, I'm not a screwdriver connoisseur, but there are some people out there that really like their screwdrivers. Some people like the chrome shank. These that they have at Olsa Tools, they are all the black oxide finish on it. So if you look at the black oxide, it holds up a little bit differently than the chrome over time. And Olsa Tools isn't known, well, they're primarily to me known as like organization. They're actually breaking away from that here with the new year starting out, and they've really started to branch out into hand tools and a lot of other things. So a lot of exciting things coming from Olsa Tools.
Let's see, trying to see if anyone's picked it yet. I believe Matthew Collins is close.
Yeah, gosh, you did kind of show it on your phone.
Well, I just, like, every time I moved it now, I just picked a different number, but I'm going to pick the 3rd number.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm gonna go to the live chat, make sure no one picked it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give some of their stuff a try. It's one of those I've never heard of them before, so I'm going to give them a shot. That's the thing that throws me off. There are so many companies that pop up here and there, and I'm like, are you just like rebranded somebody else? Have you been around? I've never heard of you. What is going on here? And 9 times out of 10, it's just some fly-by-night joke, really.
Yeah, and some of them are. So just to put that into perspective, now, Chad, so your title says you're everyday fleet tech. So you basically are a mechanic for a fleet of vehicles, and you've been doing that for about how many years now?
Not just fleets, but even dealership life. I've been turning for close to 20 years professionally.
So when Chad talks about something, he's super passionate about it in the sense that it's not just like he's been doing this for a couple of years. He's been doing this his lifetime. So when I look at the industry today, there's a lot of new people that start out. And the thing is there's a lot of kids that make decisions that don't mean they're going to end up like Chad doing this for 20 years. There's a lot of kids out there that are trying to figure out what they're going to be doing, and they only end up doing this for 3 years or 5 years or 7 years. But there are a few that continue to do this. And so Chad works with tools every single day, and he's gone through and he's understood which ones were the best bang for his buck and which ones are going to continue to truly last him a lifetime, like a lot of tools say they do, but don't always do that.
Yeah, exactly. Right now I'm finalizing climbing the corporate ladder, if you will, and going on into management, stuff like that. But if I choose not to go that route, I'm still going to be doing this for another 25 to 30 years before I retire. And so if I buy a tool now, I need to anticipate if I decide management's not the thing for me, I'm going to be using the same tool for the next 25 plus years. And so I need to, one, make sure it's going to work, not screw anything up, but will last. I don't have to take it on a truck or a store or whatever. It's not going to bust on me. And that's the thing too. People that always talk about busting tools, stuff like that, I'm going, well, you're using them wrong, because every tool is made for a job. If you have the right tool for the job and it's a decent quality tool, you're not going to bust it. That's just all there is to that one.
So I'm not even gonna lie, like there's people that really do hate when people put chrome sockets on any kind of impact. I'm not gonna lie, I put chrome on a 3/8 electric impact all day, every day. It's never broke. I mean, I've done Snap-on, I've done Cornwell, I've done even Quinn. The only thing I don't like about Quinn is that the material of I guess it's peeling off quickly. I've had it about a year and it's been peeling off. That's the only thing. It hasn't cracked. It hasn't messed up a job for me, but it appearance wise is starting to fall apart basically.
Yeah, on a cordless impact, stuff like that, as long as you don't go full ham on it, it should be fine. If it will bust with a basic 3/8 drive cordless, that's kind of a suck tool from get-go. As far as the chrome chipping off, stuff like that, I can't deal with that within my industry, only because of really tight tolerances. You can really start screwing some things up. But yeah, I mean, I have some, Matcos. I use those on 3/8 drive impacts forever. But eventually somewhere along the career, I realized just buy impact.
And Braden, by the way, the Daytona Jack has held up pretty well so far. I will admit I don't use it every single day just because I haven't been at work right now, but it's been holding up for the jobs that I do need to have. But I have jacks at home, so I keep that jack lately. I've been keeping it in the car just for those emergencies.
I want to give a quick shout out here. We got Old Car Auto Guy. So if you haven't checked out his channel, he does a lot of interesting things. Most recently that I recall, I remember him blowing up a car, bubbles with a bunch of tannerite. And also we have the Practical Mechanic in the house here joining us on Saturday. Really appreciate you joining at 410 Auto Tech in his live stream tonight. The one thing I want to comment on the chrome sockets, depends on how it comes off. When it starts coming off, I'm done with it. I've sliced my finger one too many times on just a little piece of chrome, or even if it's not like a cut, if it pokes and pierces my skin, it's done, because it's so hard in the middle of working on something to have to deal with that it's a safety issue. So if that chrome starts peeling off, done.
Well, that kind of brings me into, there's a video that I'm working on right now, and again, I'm sure it's going to start some fires. The fires I start on YouTube, I swear, guys, I don't mean to do it. I'm blunt, and some people don't like it. Chrome sockets are obsolete. I will stand by that. They are a thing of the past. They are great for your home mechanic, your DIY or stuff like that. In the professional realm, chrome mechanics or sockets, they are obsolete.
So I'll chime in on that. I agree with you, but to the point where the 1/4" sockets, I would much rather have chrome, because if you lose chrome in a car, it's easier to see because of the chrome. If it's black and it has black interior, then you're kind of SOL to a point of trying to find that socket.
I understand that point. I'm saying as far as the actual mechanics aspect behind it, that's a oops on the individual tech themselves.
Yeah, and you're correct. Is usually 90% of the time I'm grabbing my Snap-on swivel 3/8 set or my 1/4" impact from Snap-on swivel set as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all impact.
Exactly. And that's what I say. That's why those getting into the industry, I always recommend getting a good quality set of impacts, because no, an impact socket's not an impact socket. I heard one channel say it at one time, and I'm going, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. I've seen those grenade on people.
Yeah,
but
I've had some what's it called? Cornwall impact sockets explode on me.
Ooh, yeah, that sucks. But yeah, definitely go impact, because for the benefits versus detriments behind going with chrome, it's way more trying to think of the right words. Stupid cold medicine, cloudy head. But it's way more worth it to go with impacts. It's God, why can't I think of words tonight? Jesus. When I can't be witty or think, that's when I'm just not on my A game. But yeah, I mean, I can't remember the last time I went to a tight area, and I deal with turbine engines a lot too. I can't remember the last time that I had to have the thinness of a non-impact socket to reach that area anymore. That's it doesn't exist. You'll hear people talk about it, but it is very, very minute circumstances that ever happens.
So let me ask you guys this, I don't disagree with you that chrome sockets for the majority of any drive size are pretty much obsolete based on some of the air or definitely electric tools that are used today. How do you guys feel about the Gray's Pneumatic Duo sockets that are the thin-walled, which essentially are almost like a chrome socket, but they're thinner than your traditional impact that you would pick up, whether it be from Harbor Freight, Tecton, or Snap-on, or Mac, or even the old Craftsman USA? Because I know there's a lot of guys that really do like Craftsman USA sockets. They've had them around. They're made by Armstrong for like 10 plus years. But the Gray's Pneumatic Duo sockets.
They work.
I have not had the chance to use them, so I can't speak on about using them at all.
Mm-hmm. I have some. I also have the Snap-on version of it. It's one of those look at me type deals. Oh, I'm just as thin as a chrome socket. Well, now I'm getting right back to where I was from get-go. And then, oh, well, you can have this, and it takes more torque than a chrome socket, but it is not a true impact socket. So you need to go get these other sockets. You eliminate all that. Just get straight up impact sockets if you're going to do this for a living.
That's good advice, because I personally myself while I do have my impact sockets, I've been looking at that Gray's Pneumatic Duo set, and I'm kind of in between on if that's something that I should get myself, because it's still, if you would get the one on Amazon for like the 3/8 inch drive, because I don't know about you guys, what drive size you are in most of the day. To me, I would say the majority of people are in 3/8. Some might agree, some might disagree. But I was looking at their 3/8 inch drive primarily. I think it was still like $137. But I read the fine print, and I've heard horror stories of people saying, well, I bought my Gray's Pneumatic on Amazon, and Amazon isn't truly, even though it says it's sold by Gray's Pneumatic, is not a authorized retailer, and they weren't honoring their warranty.
Very true. And that's where I like having the relationships that I do with my tool trucks. All the guys on there, they're super great. The Gray Pneumatics I have, I've seen Gray Pneumatic on not only my Mack truck, but I've seen it on Matco trucks. And even Snap-on said that Snap-on would let them, they would keep Gray Pneumatic on the truck. It's simple. If I haven't busted a Gray Pneumatic yet, but if I do, excuse me, I just go on my Mack guy's truck, hand it to him, he'll hand me a new one. He'll handle it.
So Kyle from Rust Belt said he uses them on like the thin wall sockets on maybe like some higher end lug nuts, which I've done before, where there's, you got customers that don't want you to nick their rim at all. So it's a plus to use those thin walls because you're less likely, and they have that nylon like sleeve on there so that it doesn't damage any of the rims.
Exactly. See, but I wouldn't call that a thin wall socket. I call that an actual wheel socket.
Yeah, I mean, I have used like a chrome instead of a impact, just because it's a little thinner on a lug nut to break it free, to remove a wheel. I've done that before.
Exactly, but those are those tiny little circumstances we talk. Yeah, that's those tiny circumstances I was saying. You don't see it often, but it happens, but not very often.
Let's see. So in the chat here, it was the Practical Mechanic that was mentioning about loose fitting impact sockets. He says his tool dealer, so we won't name any brands on that, traded them out no problem, but some of them require them to be broken. And I've run into that before too. But if you truly need a broken tool, there's nothing that a good vise and air chisel will not take care of. And I'll leave it at that. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong, but there are those situations where some of the dealers, it's not their fault, because think of them as a small business. And so they don't get credit for some of the items that aren't truly broken when they get inventoried by the person or the manufacturer that they're returning the tools to. So some of them will never tell you, but they eat the cost on warranting out a tool because they value a relationship with you.
Yep, some of the tool guys, like you said, they're paying out of pocket. Some of them are franchisees, and some of them are, I guess, like through the company, or I can't exactly. I think there's two things. You can either be a franchisee, or you can be a Snap-on employee and doing a tool truck route.
Right. And that's what my Snap-on guy is. He's on the industrial side, and he works direct for Snap-on Corp. He gets a salary no matter what.
Yep. So
whereas my Mac guy, he is second generation, and everything he has, they have to pay for it before it ever gets on the truck. They got to pay for it.
Right. So there is a difference. There's a difference, a huge difference between a Snap-on corporate route or a corporate employee versus a franchisee.
Yes, absolutely. And that's also another reason why I buy off the tool trucks. It support my local community, my small business. And that's what it is. It's small business. I'll say his name. My Mac guy's name's Brian. I know about his kids. I know what's going on with his family. He's got pictures of his family up on the wall. He's always taking care of me. He knows what's going on within my business and vice versa. I'd rather my money stay there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. So it looks like we got some more people in the chat that I haven't recognized. We got Brandon from BSS Small Engines in the house. How's it going, man? We got Eco Belkin. Let me see if I can talk tonight. We got Mike Wolf and Mr. Mom Joe. Now, Zaphael was mentioning some things about some Motivex tools, And I'm just going to show this up here. So I don't know if anybody's ever shown these on YouTube yet, but this is their 1/2-inch drive set. And I don't know, Zaphael, if that's the set that you were talking about that doesn't have chrome that flakes off. But to me, those sockets, if that's the ones you were talking about, are really no different than a chrome socket. It's just got a satin finish on it. And I must honestly tell you, I myself would have never really heard of Motivex tool if it wasn't for 410 Autotech. So short backstory to that, I don't know if Tony remembers. Tony, you did a drawing many, many moons ago for a 1/4-inch set of Motivex tools that you yourself purchased, and then you had a contest. And I won those, and then you sent the 1/4-inch drive set to me, and then I went on and purchased the 3/8 and 1/2-inch drive so I could complete my set out myself.
Yeah, I do remember that. I bought 2 sets. One I gave one out to you, and I gave one out to a guy on Instagram who is, crazy enough, he is a GM tech and has been using them. I got to reach out back to him to see how he has been using them. I do use the 1/4-inch set. I really do like how it's like the blow molded case or the soft case, and you can just move it around from job to job. I haven't went out and bought the 3/8 or 1/2-inch set just because it's not something that I need. I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to 1/4-inch, to me, I feel like I need multiples of multiples because you definitely do lose tools easily or misplace them. And if you're flat rate, you need to have that socket available right then and there to be able to finish that job effectively and efficiently, and to turn your hours. And that's why I have I have about 20 plus some 10 millimeter sockets, and I actually won a whole set of 10 millimeter sockets off of Kyle from the Rust Bucks channel a long time ago. So like I said, the 1/4-inch from Motivex, I still use it. It's in my tool cart. Been using it when I was at work, at least a couple times a week. I bounce between that, and I'm not gonna lie, my 1/4-inch a deep and shallow are from Craftsman, not the older generation Craftsman, but the probably like 5 years ago Craftsman, which is probably not any better, but it works. When it comes to 1/4-inch, I'm not gonna lie, I can't 100% say you need snap-on on those 1/4-inch sockets for the shallow and deep. But when it comes to semi-deep, I actually went out and bought the what's it called, gear wrench, and they have been working out pretty well for me as well.
So yeah, I was wondering about that because recently I bought the semi-deep or the mid-length semi-deeps, whatever, of the Snap-on metric and SAE, and I gotta say, I didn't see what the hubbub was about on them, but I really like those.
So Chad, let me ask you, did you get the mid-lengths on like a BOGO deal, just out of curiosity? Because I know they had. Okay, that's too bad. I know they had those going on, and I meant to get those. But I've been using the Carlisle mid sockets in 3/8 inch, and I've been pretty happy with mine. I picked mine up when they were, I think, on promo for like $60. I know the gear wrench ones were cheaper, but to me, Napa was closer to me. Now, I still do like Napa, but I'll just add my 2 cents on Napa. My local stores were corporate stores. They went to privately owned stores here in the last couple months, and I can tell you without a doubt, there's a huge difference, and I'm sad to see it, in a corporate Napa store versus a privately owned one, where they don't honor all of the promos and discounts that they used to as a corporate store. So like the corporate store used to do the second Saturday of every month, they did an early bird special where they do 30% off any regular priced items. The privately owned store doesn't do that. The privately owned store mentioned the other day that all of the Craftsman stuff that they're getting in, they don't warranty any of it. It all goes back to Craftsman / Stanley Black & Decker. And once the Christmas season is over, they're going to be done carrying Craftsman. So that's just the 2 cents that I have on Napa. Now that I don't dislike them, just a little disappointed with some of the service that I've seen in difference from the corporate store versus a franchisee.
Yeah, the only tools I've actually bought from Napa was the metric and SAE stubby from Gear Wrench. And they had a deal where it was buy one, get one free, I believe, for like $50 or $60. I believe it was somewhere around there. It was pretty cheap. Where it was something I had to buy just because of the price of it.
Oh yeah.
Did I need the SAE stubbies? No, but
No.
it can't be. So there's certain tools that you don't buy because you need, and usually you want, but then sometimes you buy for the price.
Right. And I've
So
heard
just in case.
I've heard the mid-length sockets go both ways. I can tell you, I only bought my mid-length sockets here in the last year or two.
Yeah,
Never owned
same
them.
with me.
Never owned them before that. Got along just fine without them. Do I still need them today? No. But I've also heard people, and it's far and few, I've heard people that they're like, oh, that's the ones I use all day long. That's not me.
That's me.
But I can tell you that I got along without my mid-length sockets before, and I believe I personally could get along without them.
Now, some sockets that I do want that I've never bought just yet is the Matco semi-deep swivel 3/8 impact sockets.
Yeah, I'm looking at the ones from Mac, a lot similar to that. The thing for me is I do a lot of engine work, stuff like that. And when you're deep into it, there's a lot of times where you'll have your standard shallow length 3/8 drive, and it's not quite enough. So you got to put a real tiny stubby on it. But deep well, it's too long. And so you're fighting that. So that mid length, I found is that happy little median.
That's what I've heard too. I personally haven't ran into too many cases where it's like, ooh, this is just like what I could use all day long. That's really what I would look for, would be like, man, if I would have just purchased this going forward and used it rather than the other like socket sets or things like that, that would have been really cool to me. And it might have been different if that would have been the first socket set I would have ever owned, would have been like one of the SK sockets. So like SK, when I look at their deep sockets, they're all mid-length to me when I look at the 3/8. And if that would have been my starting out socket set, it probably would be a different story to me today.
See, me, from what I've learned how to buy tools is when I was first in the quick lube department, and then I moved on to like an apprentice position. I learned pretty much whatever tool that I was watching. If I was doing an engine job with my buddy, like he was a little bit more above me, I would see what sockets, what brand he was using. Because if he's using it every single day, that's something that I'm going to need to buy and start to use. And same thing if I'm doing something electrical wise, like I was with my shop foreman, electrical wise, I would buy what he said. And he always told me, to the point where, like I said, like that's why I don't buy the snap-ons, like deep or shallow chrome sockets, because he said, to be honest, he's been doing it for 30 years and never needed a snap-on. He's been doing it with the chrome Craftsman, and that's where I went, and that's where I saved some of my money, is that route as well. So as long as you're under somebody, I think that's one of the best ways to start buying tools. So you have, Kyle, who trained Captain Ron, and then he has McBake, who is also learning through under those two guys, who is learning how to buy some tools as well, because he's working with two senior technicians how to buy tools.
So it looks like we got the maintenance man in the house, and I really appreciate his honesty in talking about his personal anatomy. Really, really got to give you props to that. And then also, let me see if I can get my direction right. Right there, we got tools and trash in the house tonight. Really impressed with some of the stuff that you've been producing and putting out. Your Instagram, your logo is pretty sweet, man. Really appreciate you joining 410 Auto Tech's live stream tonight. So tell us what you got going on, right now and in your immediate future.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. And, I flip the coin a lot of days. I don't know what I'm not a man with a plan most of the time, but the project I have going right now that my wife really loves is that I'm going through, and I don't know, I guess I just started going through my toolbox the other day, and I realized I just didn't have enough. I wanted more American tools, I guess. I don't know. It was something I always stuck to before, and I kind of fucked up, and not fucked up, I shouldn't say that, but I kind of
like it,
and I was like, man, fuck it. I mean, who cares? I'm going to go through and just replace stuff with American made stuff. Not necessarily meaning it's any better, but just because,
you're through a phase right now.
You know what?
Exactly.
That'll
I
be
like
really.
it.
I would love to hear your like opinion as you go through and swap out things. And then not only do that instant video of, look, feel, but then 3 months, 6 months down the road, are you able to truly say, is there a difference
Oh,
in this
definitely.
USA made one versus the Taiwanese or something like that? Because depending on when you bought a product, I think a lot of products have come a long ways from what they were 10 or 20 years ago. But it's always interesting to see how things truly hold up over time. Because I'll tell you, a lot of new things and a lot of new products come out. Chad was talking about it earlier. He's been doing this, 20 years, and there's a lot of fly by night things out there. There's a lot of people that put out a product and you never know where it's going to be. You look at like Craftsman in general as a brand. 20 years ago, 10 years ago, never thought they would be where they're at today. I never thought Sears was going to be out of business and Craftsman wasn't going to be made in the USA. Well, that's not the case as it is right now. Is it going to be different in 10 years or 5 years based on what Stanley says? Well, yes, maybe, but the proof is in the pudding. Just because the new stuff that they put out, it doesn't mean it's going to be any better. And I know there's products like, for instance, this swivel that is spring loaded. Matco just picked up one of these spring loaded swivels.
Mm-hmm.
Is it gimmicky? Is it going to be a great item? Is it going to be something you're going to use every day? When I look at tools in general, in the USA is really positive and something that I want to hear. But I think there's a lot of manufacturers out there that are producing high quality tools. And how you were talking about how you were changing out things, I'd really challenge you to organize things, declutter, so that you can work on efficiency. Because I think that's really, like, from a flat rate world, efficiency is where it's at, not necessarily what the best brand is. That's just my 2 cents.
So,
Right.
Tools and Trash. So I've watched a good amount of your videos, but what exactly do you do for a living? I guess I'm trying to say, because I don't think I've came across a video of you actually saying what you actually do.
I guess I've never made a video explaining it necessarily. Well, I work in I don't know. It's hard to give it an exact name. It's an ammonia refrigeration is what I work on, like screw compressors. And these are all like things that run on like 4160 volts and 480 also, and like reciprocating.
So you're pretty much mobile, right?
I'm sorry.
Pretty much mobile, like job to job.
No, I'm
facility.
fixed to a plant.
Okay.
It's a pork processing or pork kill and slaughter and processing plant. But I work on the entire, like all the refrigeration equipment, and help install, and then obviously diagnose PLCs, VFDs, pumps, boilers, like 300 horsepower boilers. I don't know. It's a huge mix of things. I work on hydraulics.
So how is your training done? If I can ask you.
I'm sorry?
I said, how is your training, like certificates and hands-on training do you have to do to, I guess, keep up with your job?
Well, a lot of it is done when you first start. There's like a really basic thing to get in, right? Getting in the door is really pretty easy, as long as you got a heartbeat and and like a GED or a high school diploma, you can get in the door. But that's just to get in the door, and then they go through. They have like a 3-month computer training, which there's only so much you're going to learn on that, but it really weeds out a lot of people that don't have any desire to work in the field at all. And then after that, you work in the field for about 6 months, and then they'll send you to, there's this really nice facility down in the middle of Kansas for some reason that everyone in the world sends their employees to, apparently. I mean, I've met guys from Canada, Mexico and South America are in this middle of this small town in Kansas, and it's called GCAP, and it's Garden City ammonia program, and it's like there's several different variations, but anyways, you get certificates through them. You go there, you stay out there for a week or 2 weeks, and you go every day, and that helps you get certified. But that's kind of I don't know how to describe it. It's a lot of this stuff it's really based on experience. It doesn't, because the job is so dangerous. It's really rare that a job is looking for certificates necessarily. I mean, it does look good, but experience is the name of the game 100%, because it's how dangerous it is to work with the stuff. But
see, that's crazy because in my field, like a lot of dealers, they will jump through hoops if you have to just say all your ASEs, your more advanced ASEs, your all your dealer credentials. But I believe Ford doesn't recognize ASEs. My dealer that I've been lucky that I've been there since I first started, I don't have all my ASEs, and I've gotten to the point where money wise that it's, to me, there's no real point of getting all my ASEs now. For just me getting all my ASEs now is just to say, oh, I'm an ASE Master Certified Technician on paper. I've seen Master Certified Technicians on paper and have all the GM credentials, not be able to fix a tuna fish sandwich or peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So, and it's like it's crazy because you think that they have had the experience and they've had the knowledge through book work, and there's guys that know how to read a book and can tell you everything about the book, but when it comes to a car, it's like I don't know. But to me, I struggle more on the book side of test taking on ASEs, and I excel on the hands-on work and the actual repairing of a vehicle and diagnosing of a vehicle. Trial and error. I make mistakes. I've misdiagnosed a car before, but that's I don't make that. I've never made that same mistake of the same misdiagnosis of a car ever again. You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think from a large perspective, being able to troubleshoot diagnostics is like a huge thing. I think anybody can throw parts at things. Anybody can replace a general area, but being able to fix and drill down, for instance, I see a lot of shops that will, you have something wrong with your AC compressor. What do? They swap the whole thing out. It might have just been a seal. It might have just been something, but they just swap the whole thing out.
Chad, back in your day, did you replace or rebuild AC compressors? Since you're a little bit older than me.
Hell no, that's a liability.
Yeah, my shop foreman,
EPA would be all over a shop's ass in a heartbeat.
Yeah, my shop foreman told me he rebuilt, steering gears. He rebuilt compressors.
Steering gear, yeah, I've rebuilt those. But as far as when you start getting into your HVAC and all, nowadays and even back then, the EPA would be all over you because, oh, well, this one leaked and now you're just Satan's child because you've killed our ozone, and no shop wants that under their skin.
I have a question for you guys too. Do you, as far as like when you get, I've been working on cars since I was like a little boy, but I just do that as my like make money on the side thing. So it's not professionally at all. But as far as when you go into like the automotive world, and so like would they attach you to, as far as like being an apprentice, how long would they attach you to somebody like a master mechanic per se?
So I'll give you the quick rundown on me. I graduated UTI, applied to probably a handful of jobs. The dealership in Firestone had actually, and NTB had reached out to me. I looked at NTB and was like, no, I regret even applying because it was a big mistake. I went on the interview with Firestone. Went to the interview on the at the dealership. Both hired me on the spot, but I felt that I've always wanted to work on Chevrolets, so I went with my gut and went there instead of being at Firestone. And at the time, they only had a position for the entry level, which was quick lube. And that's what I did that for a while, and I was pretty good at it, and they were going to move me to an apprentice, but some other guy had brought in an apprentice with him when he signed on, so there wasn't another position available for me to move into an apprentice position, so I had to stay in the quick lube, which I probably could have left somewhere else and went into an apprentice position, but I stuck with my gut and say I'm gonna hang in there for a little bit longer. And then the position of being with the shop foreman opened up, and I was with him for about 2 years. and I've been flat rate coming up on 4 years in January.
Cool.
It looks like we got Duct Tape Tech join us tonight. How's
And
it
I'm
going,
What
mate?
about the duct
I'm
tape?
not gonna lie, like I was pretty much a bitch boy, scrub work, even between Quick Lube, even being, an apprentice. Pretty much he was like, I don't fully know what you're capable of just yet. So you're gonna be doing oil changes, then you're gonna be, brake jobs. And every brake job that I did, he went back over me and checked every single bolt that I touched.
Yep.
And
okay.
I was like, you know what? I can't disagree. You have 30 years of experience on top of me. I'm not going to disagree. And now that I'm in a position of being a technician who has an apprentice, when he came to me, I pretty much told him the same thing. I'm going to be checking every single bolt that you touch. And I'm sorry, if you don't like it, then you can pretty much leave, because that's how it's going to be for safety reasons. And he was like, you know what? I agree with you. And that's one strong thing that I took from my shop foreman. And what he told me was he doesn't care who comes up to you and talks to you and you're tightening a bolt. Tell him to hold on, he or she to hold on. If they need your help right away, hold on. Unless they're about to die, don't walk away until you're done tightening that bolt.
Yep.
So how long would he be attached with you roughly then? Just like,
He's in the ASAP program, so about 2 years, give or take.
okay, I see.
But I've talked to my manager, and since we don't really have a full set of quick lube guys, he's been pretty much, him and the other guy has been helping out with the quick lube department as well. So I told my manager that I would rather see them another 6 more months after they graduate to stay with us full time as an apprentice. Because I don't want to see anyone go flat rate if they're not ready. Because it's a cutthroat world being flat rate.
God, I don't miss that.
Looks like we got
I enjoy it.
Doug
I
in
hate
the
it,
house.
but I enjoy it so much.
I hated it. God, I hated it.
Because I
What's
mean,
up, Yoda Doug?
the most amount of hours I've ever made in 1 week, working around maybe 45, 50 hours a week, was 72 hours.
Yep.
So pretty much almost doubling what I made in 1 week.
Oh yeah.
But Uncle Sam will rob you and will caress the hell out of you.
God,
So
don't I know it?
rate, you have to find that perfect number of how many hours you want to turn in 1 week.
Yep.
For your paycheck wise.
It's the same way with the hourly on the fleet side as well. I mean, you get that much more overtime, Uncle Sam's just going to stomp a mud hole in you. Once you cross that upper tax bracket, you're done. That's
I'm gonna
it.
give a quick shout out to Yoda Doug.
What's up, Yoda?
Later BSS small engines.
Mm-hmm.
But
the reason I asked you guys about that, like when you get to like on my job, whenever you start, you don't really do anything by yourself, and everything has to be like a signed off deal that you've been trained and you realize what this machine does and all the safeties and blah blah blah, the whole process, And I shouldn't say blah blah blah, like it's a very it's a serious thing. I shouldn't say it like that, but they don't get detached from anybody roughly about the same amount of time, like 2 years. And then even in that time, even on things they've been signed off, it's still something where like you always have someone attached, because just like you're saying, you go behind and check every bolt because that's someone's life possibly that's on the line. You go drive down the road and whatever falls off, and you're going 80 miles an hour because you were talking to somebody tightening a bolt. And well, it's the same idea. The difference being it's usually, I don't know. I mean, it's just as dangerous, I should say, just because like I don't tighten the bolt here and I turn something on and I didn't. And there's a room with 1,000 people and I just released 10,000 pounds of, liquid ammonia or whatever. That is not.
So the practical mechanic asked me, do I count the hours from my apprentice? Yeah. So whatever hours he does turn while I'm there gets added to my paycheck at times for teaching him,
Oh, that's cool.
So that's sometimes I know what I can turn on my own some weeks, and sometimes like people say, oh, you have an apprentice, it's so much easier for you to turn hours, but no, it's not at the same time. You got to imagine I'm slowing down. I sometimes don't have to think of what I'm doing. I just know what I'm doing to diagnose a car or do a repair. I'm slowing down to teach him how to do specific jobs so he doesn't mess up, or diagnose a vehicle step by step so he knows the path to go towards on diagnosing any kind of vehicle. And if I'm working on a car and he says, "Hey Tony, I need you to check this," or I'm kind of stuck. Well, now I got to stop what I'm doing, go over there, and tell him, let's go through the whole process of what you did, and let's see where you're at, and let's move forward from there. So right now he's starting to come where he's starting to earn me money, but then at the end of him, being an apprentice, then he's going to be kind of helping me a little bit more, I guess you could say. But at the same time, I do buy him certain tools. I've gifted him some things from like the things I've bought, or like if something I buy and I know he needs it, I'll either give it to him or buy it for him, or lend an extended lend to him. So but I'm not gonna lie, at first I was a little skeptical of having him under me, but I found a new passion of teaching. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna be a teacher or an instructor in the future, but I do love teaching him because he's younger than me, and it's not by much, but I do feel like a big gap. And he's 19, I'm 27. That's not a big gap, but you gotta think he's straight from high school. So I've been through high school, I've been through tech school, I've been through work, I've started my family already, and communicating back and forth can sometimes lose communication because he is a little bit younger than me.
Gosh darn kids.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Now, Chad, I remember back in the days you had a story where you worked at a shop, and there was a guy that pretty much didn't get along with everybody, and he mentioned, or you had mentioned one time that he was kind of, maybe we'll call him the lone wolf or something like that. I mean, you might have a different term for him, but I'll say he was, if there was something the shop couldn't do, they threw at him, and for whatever reason, God's grace as it was, you were able to befriend him and learn a ton from this guy. And maybe I'm wrong in stating that, but
oh no, you're right on. Maybe it's the only thing we can figure out is maybe he saw a young salty bastard in me, and he was the old salty bastard, knew I would take over after he was gone.
But I think so. I don't know where he's at in life right now, or
most likely he's passed away.
That's what I assumed, and I apologize.
No, you're good.
But my thought on that is, you learned indirectly through his experience and became a better person from that. And I think that in the long run, a lot of the hands-on experience or some of the old age experience gives you and defines a lot who you are today. But it doesn't fully shape all of your experience because you have to learn and make mistakes on your own.
To an extent. Now, what he did was he brought me in, he showed me the dealership life. I had already been turning wrenches for a long time before I met him. I kind of have I put myself as everyday fleet tech, but I have a different background as far as how I got into it. I was literally, from the time I was about 6 years old, I grew up in the industry. My dad helped found one of the largest machine shops / truck shops in the Southeast U.S. Every summer I was there pushing brooms. Every chance I got, I was going to work. That was it. And I officially got on payroll there. I had to lie about my age. I just turned 16 and I officially got on payroll there. I started out in the cleanup department. Straight out shoot, bam, day one. Hey, guess what? We've got these old two-shirt Detroits coming through. Start ripping them down. You're learning every part. And from there, And I'm saying it's boom, 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 boom in a matter of months. I'm taking over departments, stuff like that. And I'm in the truck shop 16, root deep in these tractors, which I've already been around all my life. But now these guys I've spoken with all my life are saying, no, you're now doing this for a living. You're doing it this way. That's all there is to it. You're our bitch. Deal with it. And I did that for, let's see here. I started there when I was 16. I left there and went to the flat rate world. I was 22 or 23, somewhere around there. And from there, that's after my father passed away and everything like that. And then that's when I made it to the Lincoln dealership. And old man BL, he kind of took me under his wing and he showed me the flat rate world, how cutthroat it is. And realistically, he discouraged me from sticking around because he told me all the horror stories behind it and told me to run as fast as I could. But I didn't listen, so I stuck around with him. And I did that up until, Jesus, it's been, holy crap, it's been over 9 years. Yeah, it's been 9 years, something like that, since I went to the fleet side of things.
So, based off from Everyday Fleet Tech, I did a video probably like a little bit over a year ago where I did pretty much a tool haul from one of my other mentors. He was about 70 when he retired, and that was a little bit over last year. And I bought some tools from him, and I'm not gonna lie, the stories that he told me and the knowledge that he dropped on me of how to diagnose cars and just looking at different aspects, I can't say this enough that I love older techs. They are a dying breed of, older techs are phasing out quicker than we can get newer, younger generation techs in the door and at a quality technicians. And it's rough because at the dealership level that, they just had the GM strike, and it's pushed out a lot of GM techs. Them cutting labor times have been pushing out older generation technicians. And at the same time, it's harder to bring in younger technicians because they're offering $10 an hour, $11 an hour to start changing oil. And to me, that's not enough money, to be honest.
No.
Straight up, not enough money to be hourly.
$11 an hour.
And I started out at $10 an hour in the industry changing oil. To me, that's not enough.
At McDonald's, I make more money than that. Like,
to be honest, like I said, base
McDonald's.
salary minimum should be at least $15 minimum, and then depending on your criteria, can go up higher to be hourly as a quick lube guy or as an apprentice. But when he first started out, he told me he was flat rate at, I want to say $2 or $3 an hour flat rate.
Yeah, but that was how long?
Was years and years ago.
Yeah. Then again,
this guy has so much money saved up, and he's one of those guys where he has a credit card but never uses it, pays everything in cash, and was eating out every single day for lunch and drinking about five cans of soda every single day. And he was still kicking ass. The only reason why he actually retired was because one of our service advisors had really just pissed him off and pushed him over the edge, and he quit on that same day.
Yeah. So I want to jump in here real quick. We got Amos Cardoza in the house. Appreciate you joining 410 Autotech stream tonight, as well as Sirius's. And one thing Tools and Traps mentioned earlier was working at McDonald's, and you can make more money. I would like to just mention two things about that. So you might potentially be able to make more money at McDonald's. They might start you at 13 something an hour. But what I see, I wholeheartedly believe that is true. I see a lot of people suck up and say, you know what, I'm never going to work at McDonald's, even though they can make more money there. And I use that same analogy, but I stopped using it because even my own 19-year-old daughter was mentioning, I was like, you started college this year. You need to get a job. You need to do something. I'm like, for crying out loud, go work at McDonald's.
I'd say Chick-fil-A though.
They don't have about Lord's Chicken.
They don't have a Chick-fil-A within.
You're off on Sundays.
Within 65 miles of her. It's literally like 4 blocks from our house.
Oh man,
that's right.
I'll be moving.
Rough life.
But the moral of that story is that kids these days feel partially entitled, or they feel
Oh,
too
yeah.
good for more money.
Flipping burgers.
And to me, flipping burgers, if it's going to make you more money, you go where the money is, and then you figure out things later on, because you are in control of your own destiny. You are in control of what you're going to do with your future and what's going to define you. And that's kind of where I went, because many moons ago I was a lube tech, and now I'm not. Now I'm not even anywhere in there, and I feel humbled being able to talk to you guys to work on all those things, because I'm more on the engineering side of things rather than any of the daily grind things for what you guys do, but more on the quality control side of things. But to me, there's always that sense of, I accomplished this, I did a hands-on thing, I built this, or I made this go where somebody else couldn't do that. And so really, I just wanted to say, back to the McDonald's thing, I think everybody has to have pride in what they do, whether it's working at McDonald's, whether it's turning wrenches, whether it's making sure, $1 million train car makes it out the door and is perfect, or if there's a student that is struggling with something and there's a teacher out there that can help them. Everybody's important, and they just have to know what they're capable of and be able to move to the next step. That being said, I'll just say, 6 months ago, I never thought 410 Autotech would be where he's at today, with hitting his 1,000 subscriber mark. And I really appreciate him having me on, as well as talking a little bit to Tools and Trash and Everyday Fleet Tech.
Well, one thing I'd like to do, kind of chime in, not side gigs. I would like everybody to say what your first actual payroll job was, and roughly what were you making an hour there?
My first payroll job was Old Navy, folding clothes. My first day was Black Friday. Black Friday was my first day, and I made $7.25. And I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty good at folding clothes, but now I hate it. My wife
They have those cool tables,
it.
didn't they? Don't they have those cool tables?
No, they didn't have the tables when I first started.
Oh.
It was fold. Black Friday, fold is quicker than people would destroy it. And of course, I didn't beat it. But that was, in that sense, flat rate. Fold as many clothes as you could before they were destroyed.
Man, I do that stuff at the stores all the time too. I'm like, oh, that shirt don't fit me. Throw it back on there. I'll grab another one.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
So I mean, like for me, I don't really like. I like pick like really softly clothes to see what size it is and slide it out like real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I know how it felt,
Yeah, I know. I'm just a
prick.
Looks like we got Novataz in the house tonight. He's got some cool stuff on his channel. If you get a chance, check him out. My first job actually was detasseling. So if you're not familiar,
that's a big one out here, man.
If you're not familiar with detasseling is, it's basically walking down a row of corn, and no pun intended, I do live in Nebraska, and no, we don't have cornfields all around us. But that was my first job, because I could work that when I was 13 years old. And you literally walk down a wet cornfield at like 6 a.m. in the morning. That's about 74 degrees. And then in the afternoon, it's about 100 degrees and it's completely dry. And you're basically stripping down to whatever you can do to protect yourself from getting cut up by the corn. But I was actually making like $13 an hour back in about 94. And then after that,
diapers.
It was a lot of money. But after that, then it was switching back to like basically like a fast food. And I worked at a local pizza chain, and I made $5.25 an hour.
Yep. How about you, Alex?
I'm gonna say two of them, but only because one, I don't know how much I can count it. I don't know if you guys. I'm sure Client Graphics has heard of this one. Runza. It's a fast food joint.
Oh yeah.
It's only available in Nebraska, I believe. And I worked there for one day, about 5 hours. I went through orientation. I started flipping burgers. I'm like, man, this place ain't that bad. This is actually pretty clean back here. I thought everybody would be picking their boogers and flicking them, and I'm like, this is a nice place. But I had already applied to like 6 other places. I think I was 15, and like I walked out of that place. I'm like, well, that wasn't that bad, and it was like 2 minutes. I hadn't even got into my truck, my dad's truck that he had let me borrow, and he called. The movie theater calls me, and they're like, hey, you want to come in for a job interview? You think you come in right now? I'm like, oh, heck yeah. And I went there, still wearing the Runza shirt.
Very
and
nice.
They gave me the interview, and he's like, if you want the job, we really need people. Yep. And I never went back. Oh, I did go back and give him back the shirt, but that's about it.
Nice.
All right, guys. Don't mean to stop you guys, but I will be doing the second giveaway, the box cleaners with some stickers along with it right now.
There you go.
We'll do the same thing. Numbers from 1 through 200, and I guess client graphics if you want to start the counter now, and I will hit the number here just shortly, and then I'll go through and see who picked it first.
There you go. But what was you making, Alex?
Oh, I made at the movie theater. I'll just count that one. I think they were the same anyways. I was making $7.25.
Nice.
So it wasn't. I later became a supervisor at that movie theater, and you know what my huge raise was? A fucking
What's
quarter.
that?
1 quarter. That's
the crazy part is when I was making $7.25, and it was I think every 2 weeks, and it was only like $200-300. I thought I was the shit, to be honest.
Oh yeah, me too.
Oh yeah.
And then eventually I would go with help my dad out every once in a while on weekends, and then his buddy would throw me $100 here and there, and I mean I thought I was like balling for a while, and then I got my Blazer, and to put fuel in that motherfucker was terrible. And then I at that point I knew that I was broke.
Yep. Yeah, my first one was at a Hollywood Video.
Oh, go ahead.
Now I was saying my first job was at Hollywood Video, making 5 and some change. That was let's just say that was when the grunge scene was hardcore. I could grow hair and actually had hair down to here. Yeah. Tell the lady friends, if you want that new Terminator 2 movie coming out, I'll pull it off shelf before somebody gets it. That's pretty Netflix and chill. It's VHS and chill.
That brings back memories though, to think about going and renting movies on like Friday and Saturday, like a Blockbuster, which is what I had, or Hastings. Have you guys ever heard of that? Yeah.
Oh, yep, Hastings.
No.
Yep, definitely. So, Alex, were you from when you were talking about Runza? Was that Lincoln or Omaha or Kearney?
That's actually out here in Northeast. It's Norfolk, Nebraska.
Oh, yep, I know where that is at too. Yep.
Yeah, I pretty much grew up there, and I don't live too far away from there. But
all right, I'm gonna pick it out right now. I guess we'll end it right now and see whoever picks it. Let's see.
138.
The third one. So 46. If no one picks it, we'll do it again real quick.
Let's see here. Did anybody pick 46 or anywhere near it?
If not, I'll hit it one more time, and whoever if it picks after that.
You know what these like live streaming companies should do? Someone should make a nice little program so you could do like a little bingo thing,
Let's see. I don't see 46, so let's see. The next number was 41. Anyone hit 41? We'll just do it this way because it's just easier for me right now. Oh, Amos was close. He hit 42. Anyone see 41? Before I pick
I'm
another
scrolling
number?
through and I don't see it now.
All right, I'm going to hit one more number real quick. 141.
I thought I saw somebody pick that one. Let me see.
Amos.
Yep. There you go. I was going to say, he picked close several times, so I definitely say give it to him.
if you let's see, 410. I'm not gonna lie. Today would have been a perfect day to have what's it called, Captain Ron on here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he does a great job as a sidekick. He's very quality stuff.
He's super knowledgeable on these live streams and giveaways.
Yeah. Sorry, I keep looking down. I have somebody from work messaging me, asking me questions about.
Say, when are you coming back? We need you here. We're breaking shit.
Well, they're asking me wiring or actually solenoid questions for a manifold on a Commander Series loader, and I'm just kind of like, wait, I have it. I have schematics everywhere throughout my house, so yeah, I'm that guy. Unfortunately,
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you are a perfectionist at what you do, very knowledgeable, and you just make sure it gets done right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I can't wait. I can't wait for these 4 weeks to be done, healed up, and go back to work.
Yeah, like I say, along with the PDFs on my computer, but I sit around and I keep actual manuals around. So,
oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I got stuff right over here. I mean, it's just ASME, just tons of specs on tools and specification and torque converters. And
I got one. You guys want to see mine? I got one right here. Watch.
Let's see.
You know why though? Every piece of equipment on my facility has a QR scan code. I go off of that scan code, boom, and it's right there.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Very jealous. Very, very jealous. That would be awesome.
It was pretty cool. I just thought it was kind of. I mean, we still do have a bunch of manuals, but it's just like lightning quick like that, you know.
All right, so congratulations, Amos. Just email me at 410autotech@gmail.com. What's up? I want to say a quick shout out to Still Trying and Novataz. Sorry, I didn't explain the rules. I think I explained it earlier. Multiple numbers were allowed. Sorry about that. And yeah, we'll continue. Sorry, whoever. I think Chad was about to talk.
No, I was saying the downside behind what I deal with, a lot of stuff. You got to think each of these pieces of equipment that I mess with, they start out around the $500,000 scale. And so when things get worn out, it's not, go order one. It's okay. There are rehab installations, and they'll go out for rehab and stuff like that. And while they come back like new, they are still an older piece of equipment. And they've changed out a couple things like modern powertrain, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll send like new manuals out with it. But because it is an older platform, nobody has an actual digital scale schematic. I can pull up a PDF, but it's like literally I pulled this page out, scanned it, and was like, attached to PDF, page 1. Let me scan another one. It's like, well, that just sucks and takes away the whole point of it. Give me the book, I'll thumb through it, and we'll figure it out, you know?
I hear you.
That would definitely make my job sometimes easier on torquing head bolts and stuff like that. If there was just like a QR scan, boop, and be done with it.
Oh, God, I would love that. Are you kidding me?
That would be pretty amazing.
I won't lie, it was not all of it. Like, there's a lot of equipment I have there that it's like, well, I shouldn't say I have, but that I work on. That's from well before I was born. It was at least there's like a lot of used equipment that it was originally built. If you look at the original drawings, that there's nothing on the computer you're going to find on it. It'll say originally built in 1925, and you're like, what is this thing still doing here? Still running.
Works,
yeah, that was the thing. Like that, after a while, you start to realize you're like, there's a lot of stuff we go through and replace every 5 years, 10 years because we have to. It's like regulatory. It's part of the regulation. But then there's stuff like I just said from 1925 that's still running. It's still on paper. It's technically safe, and they come and do inspections. They do ultrasonic tests, and the thing is safe. So
yeah, every once in a while we get like late 80s, early 90s GM cars, and you know, a Tech 2 doesn't work on it. We need a Tech 1 or you know an aftermarket scan tool to hook up to a pre OBD2 port, or even the schematics that GM will kick them off of their list on how much information they give out to us because it's obsolete on their end to keep producing what we need, and then we'll have to go on through either All Data or Mitchell, and the schematics are a little bit different. I mean, I think I'm babied when it comes to GM because I'm so used to it, and I know how to look at that schematic really easily compared to the older generation style schematics as well.
Exactly. And like I say, it's people, they'll talk smack about having the older equipment, but at least on my end, the older equipment, God, I love it. I never want to get rid of it because nowadays with modern emission systems, stuff like that, you start putting tier 4 emission systems on out on ramps, you're begging for issues. I have a couple of GPUs that have a tier 4 emission system, and it's just, God, I had to go through toward the beginning of the year, sometime actually beginning of the summer. The EGR coolers, they started leaking and, of course, bypassing everything like that. Well, that gummed everything up. Those of you familiar with tier 4, you know when that crap goes wrong, it goes horribly wrong. And it was down for about a month before I was able to get everything just to replace it. And that sucks. I'd rather just to eliminate all that. I've got enough wiring to deal with as is. Ladder scales, a pain in the ass. Everything is electrical, like on this loader. Everything's hydraulics and electronics do everything. The engine that's on it, the only purpose that the diesel serves is to spin 2 hydraulic pumps. That is it. I literally swing open a door and it comes out at me. Everything is hydraulic and electrically done. So the last thing I need is to have a tier 4 system really just screwing things up. It has a place, but out with industrial equipment, it is not that place.
Well, I'm going to start wrapping it up here. I got just one question for you guys. I did very, very little Black Friday shopping for tools and things like that. I did hit up my Lowe's and Home Depot at 5 o'clock on Friday. Is there anything that you guys picked up that you might feel is going to be useful for you going forward in the future? Or did you guys just stay at home and enjoy the time with your family and friends?
I just laid back, relaxed, watched TV with my family. I'm right now, since I'm injured, and I'm flat rate, so I will be making a paycheck, but it's not the paycheck that I love to see. So I'm more on the conservative side on saving some money right now. So I haven't been buying any tools.
Very understandable. How about you, tools and trash?
Well, since it's 2020, I was like, I ain't going to no stores. I stayed at home with my family and my kids, and I was like, I'll jump online, and I picked up I believe it's an 18-inch, a half-inch drive proto ratchet.
Nice.
And I picked that up for it was on sale. It was like $32 or something. So not bad. That's all I got though.
Was that where was that at? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, that was on Amazon.
Huh.
Proto makes good stuff.
I'll have to check out if that's still. Was it a 3/8 inch or what drive did you say it was?
It was a half-inch drive. I think it was it was 18 inches long, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. How about you, Chad? Did you find anything?
Be honest, I'm done buying tools. There's a couple of tool companies I'm working with. They sent me some stuff to test for them. I'm more than happy to do that. People that want real world testing, love it. And other than that, I'm done buying tools. I have anything and everything I need.
You got work pro pockets, didn't you?
They did send me some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I'm actually rebuilding NPR right now with them. Some things I like, some things I dislike, but I'm chatting with them and keeping them in constant communication.
It's very, very cool. The only thing I bought, and I probably didn't even really need it, I picked up the Cobalt half-inch drive 24-volt impact. It was $139, normally like $2 something. And the only reason I bought it is because I bought their leaf blower and weed trimmer, and it only came with one battery. Well, the fact is that when I get done mowing the yard, I do the trimming and then I do the leaf blowing. So I needed a battery for it so that I could have the weed trimmer and the leaf blower run. So I figured I might as well pick up the 1/2-inch drive so that I can not have my air impact in use anymore. So went with that. I thought that was good for me. It's basically like normally their batteries are like $60. So this way it was like, picked up an electric impact for what was the math? About $80.
Which brand was that you said?
That was the Cobalt one from Lowe's.
Oh, yeah.
Literally the only thing I bought. This was $139.
I still have not yet to buy a cordless impact yet for a 1/2-inch set wise.
What?
I refuse to buy it.
I want one, but I mean, my Ingersoll Rand 1/2-inch air is just kicking ass still at work, And to be honest, when it like people always ask me like, do I do side work as a mechanic? And to be honest, I hardly ever do it unless it's for family. But even if it's for family, I do it at work as long as I get permission from work to do it. And for me is that you're taking time away from my family if I'm going to be working on your car on the side. So I'm going to be charging you what I feel is reasonable, but then a little bit more because now you're taking time away from my daughter.
Yep.
So me, it sounds mean, but I'm not going to leave the house for less than $100, no matter what it is.
That makes sense.
When I used to do side work back when I was at Ford, I used to charge $50 an hour. And I tell people all the time, hey, you can either pay the $100 that the dealership wants or pay me $50 for the same thing. What do you want?
Yeah,
Which is still a good deal because I think most dealerships or even independent is going to be like what, $75 minimum an hour.
I have no idea.
Yeah, ours is about $170.
Yeah, we were sitting at 110 or something like that back then.
I think the last independent dealer I checked was 75, and dealership was like 115, 110. So $50 an hour still is a heck of a deal. I mean, if I could find a plumber for $50 an hour, that'd be a hell of a deal too.
Now, what's the quality going to be at $50 an hour?
Very true.
Can't guarantee you that, but I can tell you the last plumber that I had to hire was well over 75. So I think you guys doing the work you do at $50 an hour is, to me, very, very fair.
There's a lot of people out there on like Craigslist or Facebook offering to do services, $25, $30, $40, $40 for diagnostic work. I'm like, you're insane. You're one of the reasons why that the industry has a bad name sometimes, or why it's hard for people to trust dealerships or even independent shops because of the pricing that they're charging.
Exactly. There's a lot of hacks out there. They'll come around. Oh, I know what I'm talking about. Next thing you know, your ride's on fire. I'm sorry. It's like, well, okay, well, now I have to step in.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I meant like usually it's like $100 per hour, but if it's like a brake job and it's a friend, it's like $50-$60 depending if it's pads and rotors or rear drums and stuff like that. Brake jobs are really easy and it's pretty much I can knock out really fast. So that's the lower end stuff on like the labor wise for me.
Yeah, that's why I've got to the point. I'm just buying new vehicles now. I'm done working on shit at the house. I don't want to do it no more.
So, just out of curiosity, go ahead. Sorry.
I said right now it's cold, and I'm not gonna lie. I have the utmost respect for mobile mechanics that are doing it every single day. Especially, and like it's cold in Maryland, but I can only imagine Nebraska on how actually cold it is to be working outside every single day on every single brand.
So,
I don't know. I wouldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
28 degrees right now, and not looking forward. And I actually feel bad for the people that have to do that. I know as a backup plan, if things got slow tonight, I know I was going to talk about things that we would talk about for winter. And I will tell you, everybody always hates to have their TPS sensors, which is your tire pressure sensors, go off. So just know that every 10 degrees that the temperature drops, you have about 1 pound pressure loss in your tires. So just know as the temperature gets colder, make sure you fill up your tires with air so that you can mitigate the fact that your tire pressure sensors may go off in the next 30 days, depending on
Yeah,
how
that
the
sucks when you're at a dealership and we check them for free, technically, for the quick lube department. And they're like, well, I got to nail my tire. And no, you don't. It's cold outside, so the temperature drop. Heat expands your air pressure, and the cold, compresses it, so it makes it like you said, it decreases the psi in your car in the air.
Yeah, it's funny. You have the light go off when it gets too low, but I don't think I've personally ever seen a temperature sensor go off when it's too high. Just my 2 cents. I mean,
There's some of them that do, yeah.
I mean, I've checked a car where it had almost around, I think, give or take 100 psi in one tire. And like, you're on the road next to somebody right now with 100 psi in a 4-door car.
That's hilarious.
Mercedes, when you get to 10 psi over, it throws TPMS. It actually flashes at you.
And that's fair. Again, I haven't seen every manufacturer. I haven't personally overfilled my tires because there's machines today that literally you punch in the number what it says on the inside of your door panel, and it's really difficult to go over, but people still manage to somehow over.
People still don't know your tire pressure is prominently inside your door jamb. They go off the tire. Oh, well, you fill it to this. No. It says maximum there. You don't fill it to that.
Yep.
Those are the people, though, also have to warn, when it starts freezing outside, add antifreeze to your engine oil to keep it from freezing overnight. I mean, you need to treat your car right.
Yep. And that's funny, like, again, because I said it was kind of slow. If it did get slow on this. So engine oil is one thing, I've looked into the viscosity. I've done the Blackstone, like oil testing, things like that. That was a passion of mine maybe about 10 years ago. And a lot of manufacturers have a big variance of what you can put in for your oil engine viscosity. And 10W30 is something that a lot of people like to run. But as the winter time comes, 5W30 is something that you can drop down to because it's really that first number that matters for how the engine oil is what you're supposed to be running in the wintertime. But again, always consult your manufacturer's guide to what it is because they're all very different. Like Ford's, for instance, they start out with like a 0W20 on some of their newer models, and it's just
that's a lot of GM cars that are running 0W20 right now.
It's like
Toyota's thing.
It's like, do you know how thin? Like seriously, that stuff is like so thin when it starts out, but it's a lot of that. I remember back in the days from seeing when they shifted towards that, it was all about the miles per gallon. So that really dropped down your mileage because there wasn't that extra weight chugging around with the engine oil in the first 5 to 10 miles that you were driving your car until the engine oil picked up. But again, they saw that it provided the same protection for engine wear internally with that 0W20 that it did if you were running 5 or 10W30. So the miles per gallon actually dropped when the engine oil wasn't as thick. And it was just that was an interesting topic that I read about back in the days.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. Engine oil is still a very touchy topic because it's like anything. Everybody thinks they know about it, but they've done very little research on modernization of it, and they haven't kept up with the times. I'm still arguing with some of the old guys at work, and I'm going, you either learn this or get the fuck out. I'm done with this. They think synthetic oil is only existent is so you'll go longer in between oil change intervals. And I'm going, no, that's not how the fuck this works, guy. No.
I'm a strong believer still change it between 3,000 and 5,000 miles.
Well, even it can do it just fine without it, but at Toyota, I'd do it every 10,000 is what it's made for. It's fine. But my thing is, I'm going, dude, like there are engines out there, GM, prime example, excuse me, with the 4-cylinder Duramax. You have to run a high Dexos oil. I have seen people put old school diesel oil in it and it locked the motor up. You have to use these different additives. It's every manufacturer starting to get their own little niche, and it's because they want people to go in for their service. I'm highly convinced of that. But these engines are designed to take these fluids. But again, you have people that they won't keep up with the times, and all you need 2040. No, God, no. Why? Stop.
Yeah, I'm a strong believer in Mobile One and Dexos, to be honest.
For those, we primarily use the Pennzoil Platinum, which come from Nat Gas. Is it? I believe it's natural gas. It's a gas property. I'll have to go back and look it up. Yeah, but it's a high Dexos oil as well. Had very good luck out of that, actually. But the best way I can describe it to people is engine oil nowadays, it's a lot like transmission fluids. Because everybody knows training fluid's not training fluid's not training fluid. You can't just take, old school Mercuron 3 and add it to a GM tranny, like a 4L80, I think. Isn't that one of yours? I think that one takes. Yeah, I think that one takes like an LV or something like that. Don't hold me to it. But you start cross-contaminating, you're burning those clutch packs all to hell and back, which actually gets really funny really fast.
Yeah, that's all super exciting stuff with the low viscosity for the I have a 6-speed transmission, but then there is the CVT transmission, which is completely different from everything else out there. I personally would never get a CVT. But again, they shift so smoothly. That's a different tangent. I could talk about oil and ATV stuff all day long. There's a great site. I have no affiliation with them. Bob is the oil guy. That stuff will just blow your mind. Yep. If you sit there and read that stuff, you could make a huge hobby out of that all day long. I can tell you I've used Blackstone oil testing before. Decent stuff. It cost quite a bit. I think it was like $35 back in the days. This is like 4 or 5 years ago when I tested it. Might be more. It tells you some good stuff if you care about that. Otherwise, it doesn't. But everybody's got their own specific thing. I could probably talk for hours, but again, it's getting cold. I do want to spend some time with my family tonight. So I really appreciate you, Tony, for having me on your channel tonight. Chad, really appreciate your time as well. And Alex as well. Really good to meet you. If you're still here in Nebraska, maybe sometime we'll have to hang out. I can't remember how far Norfolk is from me, but again, I'm in Nebraska. No secrets about that, and I'll leave it at that. So really appreciate you guys. Check it out,
man. Appreciate it.
And you guys, as always, have a good one.
Take care,
man. Thanks for being here.
But, you to Doug says Scotty Kilmore knows everything about oil. I'm not gonna lie.
Scotty Kilmore.
Kilmore is just he's a good YouTube mechanic. He's not a guy that I would personally listen to, but
no,
he's the original YouTube certified mechanic thing. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Rev up your engines.
I'm not gonna lie, it's funny. Like, every once in a while, I'll watch a video and I'll go through the comments and I'll just read the comments just for a laugh. To be honest, it's like the people that comment on there is hilarious, and they're calling him an alcoholic, a drug addict. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I like the way he edits his videos where he'll be saying something and he's like, oh yeah, and then he'll be the next part, another part of his yard, and he'll say like another sentence, and then he'll go to another part of his yard, he'll say another sentence, and then back to his garage. And to me, it's hilarious. I'm still subscribed for that reason because that shit's funny as hell.
He started to upload. It was a little bit where he was uploading a little bit too much for me.
Yeah.
So like I got notified, and even if you swipe across to like get it out of your notification, it'll come back again and hit you again with the same video. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Oh, this was 2 seconds ago.
I'm full confession. I've never been able to watch a full video of his. It'll pop up in my timeline. I'm like, oh well, let's see what this is about. Well, if you do this, you're a fucking retard. I tell you, don't let the dealership ever talk you into a transmission service. Wait, what? I mean, the crap he just riddles off. You're
See,
going,
me, I'm a
why?
firm believer in if you have a filter that's easily accessible for your transmission wise, I believe in a filter kit service.
Yeah, and see, that's
not a transmission flush.
Yeah, see, where I was saying that my Toyota, it's designed to run the 10,000 mile in between it. I get where you're coming from. I'm that way with the transmission. Toyota in the manual, and it's a standard auto tranny, torque converter, everything. It says it is a non-serviceable transmission. Fluid for life.
Yeah, lifetime. Yeah.
I'm going, nah, I got a drain plug right there, my guy. I will buy the 3 quarts of fluid I'm going to drain out of this bitch.
Now, if you don't want to, if your thing doesn't have like a filter kit, I will be okay with a drain and fill, but not a flush.
Yeah, exactly. Mine, like I say, the plug's right there accessible. I'm going, it's not going to hurt it. Around 30,000 miles, I'll just drop that plug out, tighten it up, throw in my 3 quarts it drops out or whatever it comes out, something like that. And we'll go from there.
But I'm not gonna lie that like the Camaros, I think the 8-speeds and a lot of cars don't have dipsticks for transmissions anymore.
No, they're all going away.
They're all gone, and you have to be able to have it up in the air to suck the fluid out of a drain plug and shove fluid fresh back in there after you went through the procedures to get it to operating temperature.
Oh, yeah. Mercedes, same way. And actually, the newer Sprinters no longer have an engine oil dipstick. You have to now use your laptop to pull up and see the actual level on it. And they also have it up on the display, kind of a percentage as to how full or low it is. I'm going, I don't quite trust that. Sensors fail, my guy. Wonderful technology.
That's funny, man.
Anything new coming up with your channel, Alex?
Shit.
Not just yet.
Like I had this series idea, and my wife's gonna help me out with it, and it's supposed to be kind of it is going to be tool oriented, but it's not going to necessarily be like, I'm not going to be really showing any tools. Like it's like a little skit. It's supposed to be kind of funny, I guess. Like how to ask your wife if you can buy a tool, or how to tell your wife, you just bought a tool, like bought this tool or whatever, it's just supposed to be funny. And, she'll probably beat the shit out of me in the video or something, whatever.
I mean, I would definitely watch.
And yeah, like they're going to be like a 40-second video, something, and maybe put like 3 or 4 skits in one video, make it 2 minutes long, 3 minutes, whatever. But
yeah, that's one thing. My wife and she understands it. We laugh because I say I'm not buying any tools. She always laughs because, yeah, right. Because eventually there's going to be something you're going to need or want, and you're going to do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is. She has my number, but she never gives me crap. She understands I need this to do my job. I don't buy tools as a hobby. I don't buy tools for funsies. I buy them to make a living.
Yeah.
That's all.
Same thing with my wife. She pretty much never questions what I buy, pretty much.
I'm not gonna lie. Like my wife, like this YouTube thing, she does a lot of it for me too. Like she does all my social medias and stuff. Well, like I control the messages, but she does like the postings and the edits and all that crap, and which is really cool. But she even she'll buy me stuff from a store. She'll be like, "Hey, don't you think this like that Craftsman socket set?" The one I did a video on recently, I had no word in it on that. She just showed me like, "Don't you think this thing is cool? It'd make a really cool video." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I guess." And I ended up doing a video since I had it now, but like it's kind of neat. Like I don't know, she's pretty supportive of this whole thing, but I mean, I don't know. I just thought it'd be funny. Like she don't give a shit what I buy. She know. As long as the bills are paid and I'm taking everyone, we're all good. Obviously, I'm not gonna say I'm well off or better than anybody else, but I live comfortably, you know.
Like
Same.
DIY says, it's easier to ask forgiveness than it is to offer permission.
Oh man, that was gonna be in one of the videos too. That
You
exact term.
definitely got to put that in there.
Just do it.
It'll be lame. I had this whole like baseball bat with barbed wire idea. It's gonna be in there. It was gonna be kind of violent, not violent, but funny.
All the Walking Dead, call it, what's it called?
You know, I don't know. Just
Get you in the doghouse.
yeah, pretty much. And you know, the funny thing is, I do have a doghouse, so that would work out really cool. If I could get my big ass.
That'd be pretty funny. I want to see that one.
You gotta go all
Slide in.
what's it, the Jetson, when he's dropping off his wife, tries to hand her $10. She hands him back the $10 and grabs his wallet and then drops down.
Yep.
No, we the way we work our finance here is my wife primarily takes care of the bill paying, stuff like that. We have several different checking accounts. Mine that I use for my day-to-day. Once my work check hits it, she will deduct it. I know my budget. I'm going to have X amount of dollars in that account. That's going to pay for my tools, gas, or whatever else it is. And that's that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't go in over your head. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing that a lot of people they screw up on. New kids, they'll get on a tool truck and I don't know what it is, Snap-on. I swear they're the god awful worst when it comes to it. They train their drivers to be a dickhead, but they'll bring a new kid on there, and every time I fall for it, I'm going, they're going to probably walk off the truck with, you know, a small blue point set or something. Next thing I know, they're wheeling in a triple bank master series. I'm like, what the fuck? What happened? You went on for a ratchet and you rolled off with 20 grand in debt. What happened, my guy?
Man.
You got suckered. Which that's something else I'm mentioning in video of mine. I would still say the majority of techs out there can get by with a decent sized tool cart, like a good one where it has the drawers top to bottom.
Yeah.
You can get by with that just fine. But everybody's got to have that sexy double bank.
Yeah.
So what's your opinions on, I believe, Homac?
Love them. Recommend them all the time. If you are not to a position to where you will purchase boxes or carts to last you a lifetime, and you're not quite, you know, you're just not ready for a Snap-on, Mac, or whatever, Homac. They hold up and they run $800. I mean, you cannot beat that.
Yeah.
And I've seen them wheeled around, used, some abused, and they last.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan of them.
When I bought my box, it was between that one, the Tool Vault, and the Homac 72 RS.
Yeah, the Pro Series.
Color green, the Pro Series. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't 100% remember if they had a hutch available or not.
Yep, they do.
I think, okay. But
you can buy them with a hutch, side locker, and everything else.
I did a lot of reviews. I did a lot of, you know, Google searches, and what got me to more of the Tool Vault was seeing more diesel technicians, you know, buying that style toolbox, knowing that if their heavy equipment tools can last in that style toolbox, then it would be a perfect fit for me as a mechanic, where I only run up to a half-inch socket, you know.
Yeah, and see, that's smart of you. Like I say, I know somebody at another shop that has your exact same box, and he loves it. It's done really, really well for him, and he has the heavier and stuff in it. Strictly toolboxes, I like what they do. That's a great option for people.
I've always wanted one of those Montezuma boxes, those ones that it's like a triangle and it's got like all the socket organizers, wrench hangers. I've always wanted to see what that was about, but just never gotten too close at one. I don't know if you guys have ever
I've seen them. I know somebody else that has one of those. It's not for me, but I get it. It's one of those, meh, it works. It
Yeah.
works great for him, but not really my style.
Yeah, it's more of preference, but I've seen one guy. He was a painter, but he also did body work and would kind of transition every once in a while if he was slow and help us out with cars every once in a while. And he had a snap-on box, but he also had that Montezuma style like triangle box.
Yeah.
And he liked it for a while, but then he said he wanted to sell it. So I mean, maybe it's just preference, or maybe he outgrew it. I'm not too sure.
See, I always felt like it would be a really good like a mobile mechanic box, one that you could slide into a truck and like have it on the bed of a truck and open it up. And I don't know.
That probably definitely be a good like tool, like a like you said, a truck box.
Yeah, but I don't know. It just something I always looked at. They always looked really. It looks really cool. Like I like, but at the same time, it almost seems like I don't know in the best way to describe it. It seems really like a display box. You know what I mean? To be like, check this shit out. Like, damn, look at all these guys' sockets and wrenches. You know how everybody like they do toolbox drawers, and the big one is always like the socket drawer, right? The money shot. They call. I've heard people call it, and they're like, wow. And everyone's like, it's always the wow drawer and shit. And I've even done videos. I won't sit here and say I haven't done videos too, but but to me, that's the one. That box is like designed for that. So you can open it and be like, holy, look at this guy's shit,
All right, I want to say, see you later, Matt. Just remind yourself to email me so you can give me all your information so I can send it to Ulsa, and then you'll definitely get the tools from them. Let's see, Michigan Mechanic. What's up? I know it's cold as hell over there, probably.
Yep.
And
Amos was asking you earlier what he didn't even know what he won.
Really?
Yeah, he commented in there. He's like, "Yeah, hey man, well, what did I win though?"
Let me see. I have a picture right here. It's the aluminum socket organizer from Ulsa Tools.
Oh man,
I think
I'd like to have that for some my 1/4 inch.
I think it's like retails around $40 or $50, and then you can catch them on sale for like 26 something around that price.
I wanted to get those. Oh man, I can't remember the name. Like something machine, Sterling machine, aluminum socket trays. You ever heard of those?
I know what you're talking about.
They got little metal pegs.
Yeah, the real small pegs on it.
Yeah. But like, I think have you ever Real Tool Reviews? He was a YouTube channel at one point. I don't think he makes videos anymore, but he did a video on them, and they're like American made, and they're actually pretty cheap.
Yeah,
and I think they're like for like $40 you can, or $30 you can get the 1/4 inch for the deep and shallow, 3/8 deep and shallow, 1/2 inch deep and shallow. And then they got all kinds of expansion packs, and there's just like a nice piece of machined aluminum with steel pegs. You can get them with magnetic pegs and labels, and I've always wanted to get those. They always look really fucking. I think not the Snap-on, Justin Sturgill. You ever seen
Westling Tool?
I'm sorry.
Is that them? Westling Tool? I think.
Yeah, it was Westling.
Sterling Tool. Oh yeah, Westling. Yeah, Westling. I've heard of Westling.
Yeah,
they work, but the problem I have with them is, so it's a very small peg that they sit on, and that's fine. But when you start to line everything up, I personally like the peg style that goes all the way through with the socket size written on it, so it's a quick visual and grab.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess I've seen they do kind of have that, but they don't have the pegs going up. They just put it on the like piece of steel, which you kind of have to. You'd have
lean
to
down and look. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I like just to see it, grab it, go.
Like those are like the Hansen trays, or the ones that you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That even Snap-on now, they're making them with the deep the shallow well, and the semi deeps.
Yeah. Those look interesting. I don't even.
I like them.
I've been wanting to buy a set of semi deeps, but Proto doesn't. That's one of the things. Sometimes, most of the time, you can get the same stuff as Mac on from Proto. Sometimes, but that's one of those things that they don't offer the semi deeps. in the proto, and you know, I obviously have to go through Mac to get a hold of those. But
let me see what I can dig up, and I'll do some homework for you. And if I find one USA made, I'll shoot you a link.
hell yeah, man, that'd be awesome. Because
Quick question to the guys that are in the chat: would you rather win both of these, or give an opportunity to do 1 and 1, and have two guys win it? So I mean, I'll take the input of whoever's in the chat. I actually have both of these on my toolbox already.
Nice. No stickers go on my work boxes.
Nothing. There's no stickers on my actual toolbox, but my roll cart has stickers on them.
I can't do it. I don't know. Stickers kind of like a tattoo to me. I'm just kind of like, there's nothing I'm going to care about that damn long that I wanted on there.
I got a few.
Oh, I never get a tattoo. I've went in a few times. Yeah, I went in a few times, but I'm like, I already know by the time I'm 60, I'll be like, this is dumb as hell. I got one piercing in my life. I got a piercing.
Well,
what? Back in the 90s. All right. So, fun fact. Imagine 90s grunge Chad with hair down to here, LeBray pierced, listening to my Nirvana tape while rollerblading down the road in my Jinkos.
Yeah, I wore Jinko jeans back in the day. I will say I wore those in I think elementary, middle, and I think I phased out in high school.
Yep, I had the spike in here, and I had a little metal ball freaking necklace. And
holy shit!
Oh, you take this stereotypical 90s punk ass kid. Yeah, that was me. I was that little shit.
The funny thing is, I just pictured it so perfectly. Like it was so easy to picture it. I'm just like, man,
dude, I got down.
Awesome. That's
all
awesome,
the
bro.
girls in class used to like braiding my hair and shit. So I'd get out of school and I have like all these braids.
All right, so the people in the chat, to win this, I'm not gonna pick a numbers. It's what was my first YouTube video that I put out. If you guys can figure out which one is the first one, whoever says can bring out the first one wins the first sticker.
Helpful tip: it involves penis piercing.
As Yoda Doug says, I'd get my pecker pierced if the time was right.
No way in hell.
I'm good. I'm good. I won't
right.
lie. When they did the little braid, I about passed out.
I had a buddy. He actually got his tongue cut in half on purpose to have.
Oh no! Hell no!
Oh, I've seen those
Dude,
before.
what the fuck is wrong with people? No, when they went and did mine, it's my first professional piercing ever in my life. So he holds my lip up, makes a mark, and he looks on the inside, and I see him set the Sharpie down, and he's got, tongues on my freaking lip. And he goes, all right, mark the outside. I see him set the Sharpie down. He goes, I'll mark the inside. Stupid me. I didn't know. They don't mark the inside. I'm thinking from a machinist background, I'm going, well, they mark both ends, make sure it comes out straight or whatever. He goes, okay. Wham! And I mean, just like rails it through. No 1, 2, 3. No, here we go. I'm going to mark the inside. Surprise!
Damn.
They ram that through. Then they have to run a stretcher through it. Yeah, that sucks.
See, I don't have such a big problem with tattoos. Like I have a few of them. I have like my kids' names and some other stuff on my arms and stuff.
I hate needles.
The piercing things is what scared me more. Like, and I never really even gave it too much of a thought, but I'm just like, no, fuck that. Like, I ain't gonna let nobody stick a needle through me or whatever, or like but
let's see if this shows up. I don't think the lighting will allow it with my pasty ass upper arms, but through here, the scarring.
I'm glad you said it.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. But scarring up top. Almost like the old Zodiac symbol, like the Zodiac killer, I mean. Yeah, well, imagine me and my stupid-ass friends when I was working at a machine shop at the time. I hate needles. He was talking about getting a tattoo, but we were dirt poor. So we're like, we'll brand ourselves. We'll do it on lunch. I mean, what could go wrong? So I ended up taking an old used valve guide from a Cummins 855 cylinder head, and I ground it down to a sharp point. Then he got a one of the staples, for heavy boxes, stuff like that. And so the old school like Killer Zodiac symbol is circle with each side like the little lines coming off of it, top, bottom, left, right.
Yeah.
Grab a torch and some vice grips. Went up to his old Plymouth Satellite. Sat there. All right, hit me. Heat that sucker up. Gah!
Man.
Did that on our lunch break.
I could never even get close to that. I'd chicken out way too quick.
I checked it out with a tattoo before I did this one.
That's wild.
Hit me.
So every day
That's the dumb shit we did.
So since you said you don't do your own oil changes, would you do your own brake job now?
For my Toyota? No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Now?
Yep.
You're done?
Nope.
Pretty much done working on cars?
Done. My wife's I work on my wife's Tahoe. That's because it's old beater. Within the next 6 months, I'm trying to get some ducks squared away, but I want to get her into something new. And that's it. That's it. All my oil change of pan, everything like that, it will be going in the dumpster. No mas. No more. No. Not having it.
It's a thing though, because like I have one of my boss, my supervisor right now, he used to have his own shop for like 20 years before he got into this line of work. And he's far older than us, he's in his 60s, and that guy, he won't, and he's still like a well-abled bodied guy, like he doesn't go every time he kneels down or anything, he can walk and run around just fine, but he ain't doing none of that changing oil. He fuck that. He's like, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm gonna take my car. He's like, I ain't doing that shit. He's like, that's young man's work. I ain't doing that. And he's like, you get to a point where like, just you don't need to if you don't want to. Like, it's just something.
Exactly. I'm to the point where, again, I'm not wealthy by any means, but we're comfortable.
Yeah.
I would rather spend the extra from buying my own oil or whatever, just go to a dealer or independent shop, spend the extra $20-$25 that it would cost for them to put it on a lift, somebody change the oil, rotate my tires, inspect it all. Seriously, by the time you're done with the cost of materials, at most you're paying $50 more. Here's $50. Right, take it.
Like the oil change thing, doing it at home or taking it somewhere, I guess, at least as long as they're actually doing it, you can go to if you go to like Walmart or something where they won't even change your oil. But but you're right though, like the whole cost of materials thing, like they're gonna you pay them $30 or you could do it at home like 50. You're like, what the hell is the point of me even doing it? Kind of, you know what I mean?
Exactly. If it costs me an extra $50 than me doing it at the house, it's one, teaching somebody that's trying to get into the industry, because it's going to be some lube tech bitch, it's giving them experience. It's keeping them a job. It's helping out my community, and it's keeping me from getting nasty as hell and doing some shit that I don't want to do with. I want to be that guy that sits in the lounge saying, you ain't upselling me nothing, guy. I'll replace my own air filter, do my oil change, rotate my tires, no to the rest.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I'm that prick that I come in
now
to the dealership with the valet key and my glove box locked, because there's no reason for you to go in there. No, you're not checking my cabin air filter.
So now just say if you're under warranty for, I guess, transmission, like just saying, I believe with Toyota that you have to go through all their services to maintain a record for them to just say get your transmission replaced if it was just like a catastrophic damage and they wanted records.
Well, there is no service record for the new Toyota trainees. They are lifetime fluid. You never have to service them. But as far as the engine, I have a 2016 out there. It has had every service done at Toyota, and it's in their system.
So do you what do you believe in, like BG? What kind of service, like brand? Any kind?
Let's be real. Most of the time, people use BG products or whatever your flavor is. We used to sell BG at Ford also. It's an upsell. It's a gimmick. 98% of the time, they got to say, yeah, BG 3-part fuel injection clean. They take 2 of the cans, dump it in the tank, and the other one, stab a hole in it, go up to the throttle body, and rip her open and let it eat. We're making smoke and putting shit in your tank. That'll be $300.
See, me, I'd rather just clean a person's throttle body plate. Just clean it straight up with all the gunk that's in there.
Yeah. But most time it's an upsell. There are some times where an actual BG service will fix something, like if you're having sticking fuel injector or something like that, and you actually do go through and hook it up. That does help, but for the most part, it's a gimmick. Same with, oh, well, we need to do the power flush on your brake system, and the fluid's fine. Just stop.
Every once in a while, you'll have cars come across where somehow they got contaminated. Somehow.
That's different. That's totally different. But when I was at dealership, they would want me to upsell like brake fluid services in like 65 or 75K. I'm going, guy, it's fine. Just knock it off. It's fine. And, let's focus on things that actually matter, your filters and stuff like that. And that's the downside behind how advanced vehicles have gotten. You have a longer service life on everything. A lot of vehicles now, the only fuel filter they have is the sock in the tank.
Yeah, pretty much all newer cars, they don't really have an external fuel filter. It's all in tank.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's good for the customer, very bad for those flat rates.
Like that's like hybrid cars. It's like they come in here, it'll still say an oil change and tire rotation. I'm like, not a hybrid, full electric vehicle. I mean, you can't change the oil. You can only rotate the tires, but there's literally nothing that you can really upsell if you want to upsell, because there's no, there's not a throttle body technically. There's nothing like that, that you would need. And brakes nowadays are lasting a lot longer, especially with, full electric, where they use the electric engine motor to slow down the vehicle or do regenerative braking, so you're less likely to wear on your brake pads and rotors at the same time. The only thing that I've really pretty much done is some tires, just because due to nails. I've done maybe an outer tie rod and a knuckle due to like a vehicle running into something that physically broke the part, but nothing that's actually wearing anymore. Like a lot of these newer cars, the suspension is not wearing like it used to be, like on older cars.
Now, since you brought it up, let me ask you this. The two that I've actually here recently looked at for myself, I thought about a hybrid like the Chevy Bolt.
I love the Bolt, to be honest.
Or the Volt, not the Bolt.
The Bolt, I like the Bolt too.
But the Bolt is the total electric one, correct? I looked at that as well.
It will peel wheels.
Oh, yeah. Well, the reason why I thought about that is I'm thinking about trading my Toyota in for my wife, get a bigger, they hold their value, it's Toyota. Get her into something, and then I thought about going to buy the Bolt because the wife will probably be in some sort of SUV, so we can take it out of town or whatever. I primarily commute back and forth to work. Well,
did they discontinue it, though?
What's that?
Volt, yes.
Oh, the Volt? Okay. But the Bolt is fairly new. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think within 2 years.
Yeah, but see, at work, they're installing free charging stations. And I'm going, I commute right now on average, so there and back, it's under 40 miles. So that's well within the limit, They get, what is it, a couple 100 miles for range, or just shy of that? It's 100 something.
It's like under 200.
Is it? But it's around that region. What I'm getting is, if I'm able to drive one to work, charge up on their dime for total free and back, and then go back to work and charge up again for free on their dime.
Oh man, that's true. That's a good idea.
And my wife still have the gasoline powered one for when we need to go out of town or long distance or whatever.
Your commute to work would be free.
Literally free.
Why not the new Tesla truck?
Man, I like that truck.
Tesla truck.
The ATV looks pretty fucking sexy.
The Tesla truck, I would get it if it weren't so damn expensive, had more dealers around to service it, and I could make it turn into the Halo truck.
But the only thing I don't like about the Bolt or pretty much any electric vehicle yet is if you're going long distance traveling. Because the time that it takes to charge the vehicle back up is just too great for me to want to stop.
Exactly. And that's why I say, for my purposes, in my head, I'm literally just driving back and forth to work. That is it. So why not just, hop in my little ride, basically all I'm doing is paying my car payment, and that's it.
Don't the new Teslas have like a 300, 400 mile range? If
Yes.
not more than that.
Probably.
Like that new truck, they say it's got like 500 and something mile range. Obviously, that's no load.
Dude, the truck's not coming out.
And no heavy acceleration, probably.
Yeah,
Right.
The truck is never going to come out. It's not happening.
You don't think so?
No, I know so. You know how I know so?
Why?
When they announced the semi-trucks, my company put a down payment on many of these things.
Uh-huh.
Not one. There ain't even a factory developed to make these things yet. They just, we'll do it eventually. Tesla does this in order to keep their finances up, because realistically, they are not making profit at all. You can read into it a lot. They've had to be bailed out by the government multiple times. They run on subsidies and loans. They don't make profit. They stay so far behind it as any other business would be multiple times bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
See, for me, I don't know this fact, but it's what I've heard is that their turnaround for technicians are pretty high.
Yes, very.
Or even at any other position of, because they don't call them dealerships, they call them something else. I can't remember exactly.
Service centers or something like that.
But even like the management position is a lot of turnovers.
Mm-hmm. Well, the problem with it is, for whatever reason, Elon Musk smoked something really strong and determined that he will not allow a franchisee to take a Tesla dealership. Tesla is Tesla. That is it. You cannot be a Tesla dealership in conjunction with a Ford dealer or anything like that. And it is all corporate owned. Each Tesla dealership is owned and operated by Tesla manufacturing. And so that limits how many dealerships you really have around. And funny enough, I'm not sure if they still are, but for a long time, because of the way the law read, Tesla was not legal in the state of Texas because they will not allow people to franchise out. So that's going to be their downfall. Unfortunately, I foresee Tesla, I'm willing to bet within the next decade will be gone. They'll be replaced.
I like, and what you're saying, it makes a lot of sense. I do like their vehicles and stuff. Obviously, I've never been able to drive one myself, I should say, but I like their template that they're laying out for like the future. You know what I mean? And obviously, their company model is not to what it should be to even be running. Obviously, like you're saying, they're not even running a profit right now. But I do like the idea, like their vehicles. I like the idea of their vehicles. I like what they're doing with all their supercharging stations. You know, they get those things planted up across the country. You got the market made at that point. You know what I mean? Like that's the biggest thing that stops people.
And the thing is, Elon Musk, he is a very brilliant man. I'm not going to sit here and say he's an idiot and he's a brilliant, brilliant guy.
Right.
but he mostly is into it for R&D, and that's it. And every single one of their patents, and it's very well known. Every time they grow and they have all these new patents, it is an open source patent. He is going out to Ford, to Chevrolet, and saying, "We perfected this motor. You can build it yourself. I don't care. I don't want stuff from it. You can do it. It's an open patent." And that's what he's about. He is a very much so a visionary, but Tesla Motors themselves, it's more of just to try and keep his vision afloat. And it's putting the word out there. And look at Ford just did a horrible thing naming the Mach-E a Mustang.
Yeah.
That will be the death of that. But Chevrolet's coming out with different vehicles. Toyota's coming out with an all-electric vehicle. Nissan's had an all-electric vehicle for a while. The market is there. And me personally, I'm a huge proponent of alternative fuels. Yeah. Me personally, I would love to have seen us gone more of a hydrogen route, but I understand why nationally it would be difficult for colder climates. But for electrics, I mean, it's a great alternative.
Yeah.
Fossil fuels are going to eventually be a thing of the past.
Yeah, for sure. It really is a caveman type fuel if you really think about it, how long we've been using it as a society or as mankind, you know.
It absolutely is. And that's the thing. And I'm not going to get into a climate change discussion. I don't care how anybody stands on that. That's irrelevant. Yeah. I'm looking at what is efficient. What is something we can get high value, low cost for? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'm not talking about as far as just financial. I'm saying, like, for a long time, batteries, you know, when you were way up here, the cost of batteries was way up here, but also pull up lithium mines when a lot of batteries, even Tesla up to a couple years ago, were lithium. People were going, "Oh, I'm driving this electric car to save the planet." Well, dude over there has cancer and a mountain is gone. So your lithium sucks, guys.
Yeah. They're talking about like the disposal of future batteries, and that's going to be the next like catastrophe. I can't pronounce the word fucking right
catastrophe.
Now.
Yes. Yes. Batteries are being recycled all the time, but we're now getting into carbon for batteries, and that is a huge leap with technology. And that's how now batteries are able to, one, last, two, they're able to get you to 300-mile range in between charges. That's a huge thing. Me personally, I wish people would quit being buds, really, and explore modern technology that's come with nuclear. I'm a huge proponent of modern nuclear power plants. Again, people, they think, oh, the tragedy in Japan and da-da-da-da. Technology's come way, way long distance since then. And the waste product of nuclear power plants is so minute to what it used to be. It's virtually zero. And the little bit that you get left over from that, it far outweighs fossil fuels that we're going after now. If this station would go either nuclear, solar in the desert and places that matter, and turbine wind powered, and then start pushing out electric cars like I think we need to. Oh my God. I mean, the future would literally be here. And I'm a firm believer, once we achieve that status, then we will start seeing the progression of technology on our roads and everything that I was promised when I was a kid. I'm willing to bet money within 2, maybe 3 decades of us going to that as far as the national infrastructure, we will be at viable flying cars.
You know what, though? The only problem I have with the flying cars, as much as that seems like the most badass, you know, it's obviously, it's all of our
drunk drivers.
Drunk drivers, that's also one. But
you would no longer be a driver.
You know how we thought it, we were all just talking about like how there's people out there who are driving around with 100 PSI in their fucking tire, or they're driving around with one lug nut holding onto their fucking tire, you know? Now we're going to have some assholes flying around in the air.
But that's one thing you also need to think about. now you're in a whole other realm, and that's the realm that I'm in. Now we're looking skyward. Now FAA laws get involved. One, you would no longer you would not control your aircraft. At that point, it would type in an address and off you go.
I mean, that's just boring as shit to me.
That's gonna be the future, dude.
Oh, I do enjoy. I mean, I do enjoy. I love driving and just.
You ever seen there's movies like that? Like,
they will go away.
But
yeah, it'll be completely autonomous, dude. Just like, have you ever seen the city? Like they show like future cities, and like people just get in the car and it just gets on a track system, and it'll just take you, and that's it. You have nothing to do with the way it drives.
The thing, we already are laying out infrastructure in roadways to have automated vehicles on the road, and that is happening now. And that's to eliminate traffic congestion, stuff like that. Because think about a large city. You're going along, you're trying to merge onto the interstate. Well, you're waiting, and this dickhead, he won't make room. And how do accidents happen? People want to swerve over, and there's not enough lanes, and you get clipped. It happens. If vehicles now, they are electronically keeping a very tight gap, and they have the ability to keep a gap of only a matter of inches, that'll shrink up congestion. Now, if your car's trying to merge onto the roadway, it would automatically slow down the pack behind you. Once it triggers you're getting on, you will get in line and you will be able to go. And theoretically, once that infrastructure is up, you would be able to have vehicles going 140 plus mile an hour to its destination, and 0 accidents would happen.
I'd feel better if it was on a track system.
Yep, that is already being tested. It is already in the works. And that's what I say. And while I get your point, 410, about it's boring flying and not really being able to do anything, you're not thinking outside the box. Yes, you have that up there. The Earth still exists. Imagine being able to come on Earth, traffic being nothing like it is, and basically every road's the Autobahn.
Yeah, but to me right now, like the older people need to literally stop driving.
Yeah.
And need to like pretty much take not driver's ed, but retake the driving test.
Yep. I firmly believe every time you renew your license, you should have to retake a test. Driving is a privilege and not a right. People nowadays want to scream, that's my right. No, you don't know your actual rights. Read the Constitution, know your rights, fight for those rights. Driving is not in there. It is a privilege.
Drew Otto says, he said, next you're going to say the Earth is flat.
Earth is flat. We're a flying disc flying through space. You know nothing.
You see Yoda's comment said it would be fun to off-road a flying vehicle. I'm not sure how that would work. I'm not sure how it would
fly over,
roll around, keep rolling.
I don't know how it's considered off-road. But
loops.
That's the thing too. I mean, think about it that way. If you have the ability to fly and you type it in, why would you not be able to type in a new baller racetrack? Now you're able to defy gravity. Imagine going out to a track and you're basically on a roller coaster all of a sudden.
And obviously somebody's going to make a sport out of it. Someone's going to start racing fucking cars up, up in the air.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. The future, it's a very bright place. I'm not one of those that I look at the future like this big grim thing. I think it's very bright because we have some very, very intelligent people working really hard to come up with massive leaps in technology. And if you look at world history, it's every couple of decades that we have giant leaps in technology. I mean, look at what the 80s brought us versus the 70s. The early 2000s versus the 90s. I mean, we went from, payphones everywhere, stuff like that. And inside the early 2000s, we went to mass internet everywhere, cell phones everywhere, internet on your cell phone. I mean, Jesus. And just that decade, that small little time span.
The one I remember the most, especially, just like exactly what you're saying. I remember when it was like 1999, 2000, when me and my friends, and we'd be like, we'd always be playing our CDs and shit, and we thought it was the coolest thing ever. And then we were like, yeah, I saw on TV that one day we're gonna have music, and we'll just have to put a chip in our watch, and you could listen to music on your watch. And I was like, and we all thought that was the wildest thing. I guess now it's like 20 years ago, but like now, what do I have on my fucking wrist right now? I have a Galaxy fucking Frontier S3 or whatever, and it does 10 times that. I can make phone calls and text messages, surf the web, control my phone, find my phone. I can do anything. I can turn the volume up on my TV with this fucking watch, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna show everything, but I have my banking information on my phone. I'm able to just go up and tap my phone, and I'm paying stuff.
But it's just like the amount of different tool manufacturers that have came out of nowhere in the past 10 years. They're making it easier for new technicians to get into the field of cost efficient tools.
Yep.
Because
some good, some bad.
Years and years ago, Snap-on was always expensive, but it was a lot more. I think it was a lot cheaper for certain people to get into the field and buy Snap-on tools.
It was a lot more affordable for Snap-on.
Yeah, a lot more affordable. I mean, like I said, the older guys they'll take a look at certain prices on Snap-on and nope, not anymore. I paid a fraction of that back in my day, and it's for us is Jesus Christ, it's a lot of fucking money, to be honest.
And that's why that's another reason why I prominently went with Mac. Mac is Snap-on quality, and sometimes I think better, but at the older Snap-on cost.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you not? And like I say, the thing is, Mac used to be huge and everywhere, and then they took a downward turn. Now they are beating Snap-on in a lot of markets to the point where people are going, I'm not buying Snap-on. I don't want you on my property. We're getting Mac in here. And they're killing it, man. And that's what I say. Even dig through some of this. Some of the older, stupid lighting. But this one of the older Stanley ratchets. This one here needs to be warranted out, but as far as the jaws and everything, they work. They work just fine. Again, parent company of Mac. While the Stanleys are typically made in Taiwan right now, I hear that might be changing. But they understand that's their Blue Point line, basically. Look at it that way. People have no problem going on Snap-on, shelling out few $100 for a Blue Point wrench set. Oh, it's made in Taiwan, but whatever. Lifetime warranty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Stanley, you can go on Amazon, spend $20, buy the same damn thing, and it's a lifetime warranty.
Yeah.
If you're getting into it, why would you not?
All right. Quick question for Everyday Fleet Tech. So for me in my area, I am Mexican, but I don't see many Hispanic technicians at the dealership. I more see them at every once in a while at I guess a gas station mechanic or something like that. I've seen some in the West Coast through YouTube, but I've never actually met many in person. Have you? I mean, where you're at?
In my region alone, in the Metro Atlanta, we have Caucasian, African American, Indian, actually African, Hispanic. I think he's from Colombia. And yeah, we have a wide demographic for where we're at.
Because I'm in my dealership, I'm the only Hispanic technician in the dealership.
Yeah.
Where do you live in Texas?
No, Maryland.
Oh shit! For some reason, I don't know why I had this idea that you were in Texas. I was like, how the fuck is there no Mexican in Texas? and this whole time, what kind of a nice neighborhood does he live in Texas?
He got lost. You kind of don't belong here.
But I mean, like, I'm just like curiosity because I mean, there's like in my industry, of course, there's a lot more. All the flat rate technicians are white.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm the only Hispanic, and like the black ones, the black technicians are like, I guess C level or even quick loop tech.
Yeah. No, we're multicultural down here. We don't care about any of that. If you can do your stuff and you know your stuff, shit, with a quickness. Now, as far as outside of my job, I can name several places around Atlanta that it's Hispanic only. Their sign is in Spanish. Their flyers are in Spanish. It is a 100% Hispanic owned company. It's just one of those. If you don't speak the language, you ain't getting worked on.
Yeah.
So,
I've been approached by like an outside shop to come work for them just because I speak Spanish. Well, I can't say I'm 100% fluent, but I do speak Spanish, and that they do want me for, I guess, to bring in more Spanish clientele. But the fucked up part is I don't know that many Spanish people in my area.
No,
I
wait.
know
Where do you
personally.
live in Maryland?
Yeah,
Oh, you're a snow Mexican. I see.
fuck this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, hey,
sorry.
I've offered you a job before. And
And
like I say, you see the temp right now.
55, man. That's
I
nice.
know, just the white.
Woo, it's a brutal winter.
Yeah, 65. I'd be loving that. Shorts, t-shirt.
Man, I get to work tomorrow. I've got that bastard child of a project I've got to finish up. And yeah, it's going to be nice. I'm going to have the doors open. I'm going to have a nice breeze rolling through from the airport.
Damn it.
Whew.
Man, I already got my hoodie and my Carhartt jacket lined up for tomorrow. I got to go to work tomorrow too. And it's going to be like 25 degrees tomorrow morning, I think. But
The majority of my long sleeve shirts that I own are like dress shirts. I don't own long sleeves. There's no reason to.
Jesus, man. Well, I've been down there a few times to Georgia. My sister lived in Savannah. No, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, Savannah. No, Dalton, Georgia.
Okay, that's North Georgia.
Yep. And Savannah, isn't Savannah South Carolina or something?
Savannah is, but it's right there neighboring Charleston, South Carolina. It's right there at it.
Yeah, we went.
But it's a coastal state. It's a coastal city.
Right.
I lived there for a while.
Oh, really? I went there like it was probably like 7 or 8 years ago. When I went to visit my sister, we went out there to go to the beach and stuff. But
all right, so you went to Tybee Island.
Yeah, it was kind of out there.
I lived on the island right next to Tybee.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took me all of 10 minutes. I was sitting on the beach.
Fuck, that would be nice. See, we went out there and we stayed on this place right on the beach, right? Right on the sand. And then there was a tropical storm that came in the day we showed up. So we all had to stay in the hotel for like I don't know how many hours. The power went out. It was the worst vacation thing ever because we're just sitting there in this stupid hotel room. This stupid tropical storm decided to show up the one day that we showed up. But it was a nice place. I heard it's like the most haunted place in like the country, supposedly.
One of them. Yeah, if you don't believe in ghosts, move to Savannah. You will.
I mean, I don't believe in them, but I'm not gonna fuck with them. I'm not gonna go.
You will if you move there. You will.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, nah, that's bullshit. But I'm not gonna go and see if it's true. Like I don't have.
Go down there and see if it's true. Come back and let me know.
No.
But like I say, I've tried getting 410 down here a couple times. Eventually, and I think I even told him this one of the first live streams I got on. I told him I'm going to poach him one day, and I'm not giving up. Damn it, I'm going to poach him. He's going to come down here one day and work with me. I don't care if he works for me.
Summer.
Huh?
So I'll come down and visit in the summer, and then you can not pitch me, but pitch my wife.
Hey, that's too easy right there. Show you nice homes in the area, good schools, good communities, affordable. Plus, tell your wife that you're going to make the exact same dollar every single week, week after week, unless you work overtime, make more.
Damn.
Plus all the insurance and everything like that. And we have killer insurance.
Besides, I didn't even know Mexicans went up to Maryland. Seems really far north. You guys don't need to be up there, or we don't need to be up there.
I don't know anything about like further north, but here it gets hot as shit in the summer though.
Gets hot down.
Muggy.
Gets hot and muggy here. And we have massive actual Hispanic. All right. I don't know about how your upbringing was or what you're into. Do you do a lot of Hispanic cooking, stuff like that? You have like Hispanic grocery stores and all that?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. I was going to say, there's. What's that?
So I go there for the hot sauce.
Okay. I was going to say, we have almost every city has at least one main strip where it is 100% Mexican owned and everything is legit, which we have that for just about every culture around.
Right.
I mean, you gotta think
somewhere around there, I'm good.
Oh, we got plenty. Matter of fact, where I would like to poach you and bring you on, because there might be an opening with me at the airport come June. My friends that work at the airliner attached to my building right next door to me, they all the time have legit taco trucks and all that show up, and we just go down there and get food.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's legit.
That'd be awesome.
I could throw down some tacos.
Oh, me too. Get down here and we're going to get you fat. We're fat in Georgia for a reason. Everybody says this for our Southern cooking. I'm going, no. It ain't just Southern no more. We are literally the melting pot. We are New York in the 50s, you know. We got everybody here. Even got a real sweet Greek restaurant not far from me at work.
Michigan Mechanic said as long as we got Taco Bell. You know what? I will admit, Taco Bell breakfast, the Crunch Wraps, I do love their breakfast Crunch Wraps.
You mentioned Chick-fil-A earlier.
Oh, I love Chick-fil-A.
You heart Chick-fil-A, right?
Yeah.
We have the original Chick-fil-A 6 minutes away from work. The first Chick-fil-A 6 minutes from work. We are the home of Chick-fil-A. There's a Chick-fil-A on every single corner. We get Chick-fil-A and Waffle House.
I've
never been to a Waffle House.
If you're hammered and you need somewhere to go, Waffle House, it will always be open.
Oh, yeah. I love
was in Ohio and hammered, and they have White Castle.
We have Crystals down here. We don't have White Castle.
Have you guys ever tried In-N-Out? Well, it's more of a West Coast thing, I guess.
Yeah, I've never had it.
I've had it. It was nothing to write home about.
How fucking dare you? I'm out of this live stream. I'm done. See you later. I ain't talking.
People eating it out and Whataburger. Yeah, Whataburger.
I tried Whataburger and it was good, but I don't know. My heart holds dear to In-N-Out.
Go to Chick-fil-A. Oh, see, down here we not only have Chick-fil-A, but we have Truett's. Truett's was started by the Truett family, which owns Chick-fil-A. And they basically have a Chick-fil-A, but they turn it into more of a diner style. You can have one side that's like a legit Chick-fil-A, you can get your food to go, whatever. Mm-hmm. But over on the other side, you have Truett's. You can sit down. They have stuff offered at Chick-fil-A that is never offered at any other Chick-fil-A. You get your hamburgers. You get you can buy, like on a cold day, you know, homemade chicken noodle soup with a fresh made cheese grilled cheese sandwich, and you know, they offer just about anything you can think of, buying and milkshakes, of course. So yeah, I'll just roll it over Truett's, get me that,
man,
or I'll just go to Steak and Shake and get a good smash burger.
So, yeah, we have a Steak and Shake. I think a few, but I've actually never been there yet.
They're good.
The Waffle House. You guys ever had the Roscoe's chicken and waffles?
No.
Yep.
That's West Coast, I think.
Yeah, I think that's mostly West Coast.
And like for us, we love what's it called? Royal Farms chicken. You guys probably have never heard of that, but it's pretty much just fried chicken that's fucking at your local like gas station kind of type deal. But it's fucking pretty good to me.
No, we just stick with Chick-fil-A.
What's
If
it
you
called?
start talking about chicken, we're going. We got the Lord's chicken over here. You don't know nothing about that, son.
The Lord's chicken.
We are everywhere.
So we have
can't
hip
beat
hop
it.
chicken.
Yeah, what chicken?
Hip hop chicken.
Never heard of it.
Now,
One thing also about down here, barbecue. We are huge barbecue area.
I
Definitely.
love briskets.
We will tear some up around here.
Wahlburgers.
Oh yeah, we got all the food around here.
Hey guys, I gotta work at 6 in the morning. Well, I gotta get
Ooh,
at 5,
that sucks.
Ooh,
so I gotta get going. But I really appreciate coming on. Thanks for having me on,
Yep.
Fortunate, and good talking to you every day. Freak.
Yeah, buddy.
You guys have a good night. I gotta go though. It's bedtime
All right,
for me.
Later.
have a great night, man. See you later.
Later.
Getting close to getting out of here too, Chad. I know you don't feel too good.
Before long, for you, I'll ride the struggle bus.
The struggle bus is probably
Beep,
my wife. My wife is probably like, she's probably knocked out. She's gonna ask me tomorrow morning what time I went to bed.
Oh, my wife, she laughs at me every time. Every time I come on one of these, I have full intention on being on for about an hour.
Later,
And
Drew.
she even said, she goes, yeah, famous last words before she walked out of here. Where this is set up, it's like an enclosed garage, and one half of it's my work area. The other side is hers. She has a home business, so she's nice. You know, she takes a break from doing all that. Ooh, that's the thing. Your wife needing a side gig?
Does my wife need a sidekick? Probably.
Yep. Does she know how to sew?
So,
Yeah.
yeah, she's pretty good at that and hemming and all that shit.
Okay. See, my wife has a little business where she makes different things, stuff like that, and it's all the time hiring people. See, get down here, we get you a job, we get you. Like I say, we got houses in my subdivision for sale. They're rehabbing one of them right now. Get out on the lake so you can wake up, see the water every morning.
All right, guys. Anybody else? Anybody in the chat have any questions for us before we start wrapping up things in the next probably like 15 minutes?
Yep, that'll work. Now, here's my question for you. At work, do you wear gloves or do you go natural?
So if I'm doing wire repairs, I will 90% of the time, 95% of the time, won't wear gloves. But anything else, from changing oil to suspension work, I use gloves. I switch between. I'll go between latex and nitrile or nerdle, whatever it's called.
Yeah, nitrile or
nitrile,
whatever it is. Yeah, I use latex all the time. Some of the older guys give me hell. Is this a doctor's place or what? Well, I don't want cancer.
Yeah.
I mean,
I spray brake clean, all the fluids. It's just rust penetrating fluid, battery cleaner.
Oh yeah, down here we have.
I'm not gonna lie. I will run through 10 pairs of gloves on one car, and I don't care.
I don't care. My job provides it. I'm good.
My job provides gloves, and I also get gloves. I've gotten 2 packs of gloves from it's a company called The Glove Shop, and they're on Instagram. I'm actually doing a giveaway of their gloves on Instagram as well, and they sell latex and they sell the nitrile gloves, and I really do enjoy them. Their house brand is Iron Line, which I think is like pretty much comparable to the what's the famous latex brand that I have them at work. I just can't think of the name.
Diamond
Grips.
Yeah.
So Diamond Grips are really good, but I think the Iron Line they do have is a little bit stickier. So it's like your preference if you like stickier or non-stickier. The Diamond Grips have the tips where they're like rugged, and the Iron Line has tips where they're rugged too, but their whole entire hand is pretty much like a little stickier.
Gotcha.
And like the nitrile gloves, I got the green ones just because it's green, so I was like, let me try them. But they also have like the little balls all over the hand, so it gives you that supposed to give you that extra grip.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah. Wouldn't mind trying that. Be something different. I've gotten, free pairs of the gloves like from Snap-on or whatever. I cannot wear those things. I destroy them in 5 minutes. I don't know. I've never seen the point in that whole market.
Ammo said Trojan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've gotten gloves from Amazon before. Like a company called Raven. I like their black gloves.
Yeah, that rings a bell. No, see, at work, by policy, we have to have different specialty gloves. I have the same ones when I started. They just go in the bottom box. You have to have your impact resistant, where you can put them on if you're using the impact gun, so it don't tear up nerves in your hands. And then you have ones that are anti-cut, so if you're dealing with sharp things, it don't slice your hand open. And then you got to have some for doing HVAC work in case any line gets pierced or anything like that, so it doesn't jack your hand up. It's kind of like, don't go to, don't be stupid and you're fine.
Let's see. I never wear gloves unless it's cold. I don't. To be honest, I don't even usually wear the impact gloves. I have a couple of them, like the mechanics gloves or whatever they're called. Yeah. And then Ammo said, "You guys ever replace solenoids in a worn winch?" I don't know.
A worn winch? No, I haven't ever worked.
No. Let's see. Oh, it was a rag quilt that I did. Blah, blah, oversized, even for a California king. But I mean, I wear safety glasses. I've been more recently wearing ear protection as well.
I'm a huge proponent of ear pro. As soon as I get to work, I'll throw my gloves on, throw my ear pro on, and I have reusable push-in style earplugs. Tear up in a new pack, throw it around my neck.
Yeah, we don't have the ones for the neck, but we just have the ones that are like a 2-piece in a little, like a little pretty much plastic bag. You just rip apart, plug them in, throw them out, grab a new set.
Now, are yours foam where you got to squish it and stick it in? I hate those things. The ones I have, they are actual molded. It's like 3 different chambers, and you literally just push in. That's it.
And then in the summertime, I've been wearing knee pads.
While I'm
wearing shorts.
Oh, okay. See, I don't wear shorts at work. But if you come work with me, it is an option. We'll give you t-shirts and shorts.
That's my kind of. I mean, I would love to wear that all year long. To be honest, all year long.
Yeah, I don't know about down here. We do have a cold month or so. Gets down in teens.
And like, I love t-shirts that have actually pockets too.
All my t-shirts. All right. We had what we dub pocket gate at my company. The regular t-shirts, we have the button up that's applied and it's washed through our provider. But we can go on the company website and buy actual t-shirts, which is primarily what I wear. They've always had the pocket. Then one day they stopped offering t-shirts with pockets on it. Oh my God. I mean, it went up to the VP. People were raising hell like, what the fuck? You took our pocket away. He tried being ballsy and saying, well, that was for people when they used to smoke to have the cigarettes in it. We're like, no, guy, we need these things. Now we can get regular cotton t-shirts with the pockets in them and the like the mesh style, like your gym tight short sleeve shirt with a pocket on it.
See, we have, the GM uniforms that we're supposed to wear, but I don't ever wear them. I just wear a t-shirt with the company name on it or a Snap-on name on it, Matco or whatever it is. But I don't know. I just don't like, I don't know. I'd rather wear a t-shirt with a pocket instead of a uniform. And just because it adds another layer of clothing on top of me, and I really don't like that.
Yep.
Well, I'll put a hoodie on or a jacket on to walk outside to go get a car or whatever. But the moment I come back in the shop, that's coming straight off.
Yep. I do the same thing. Like I say, tomorrow when I go to work, I'm going to have my thin work pants on and a t-shirt. Good. Let's see here. Have to get extra large.
I'm a
What
medium.
size? You're a medium.
It's medium.
I got big old fat hands. I got large. I tried the mediums, but they're way too tight on me.
Cali Auto, so he has the Neo pad from Matco. I have the Neo pad from Matco and the one from Snap-on. But in the summertime, since I wear shorts and you kneel down, and if you don't have that, just say there's like a little pebble, it'll bust your fucking kneecap open if you're wearing shorts.
Yep.
Compared to in the wintertime, it'll just rub against your pants. So.
Oh yeah. So that's my thing. I don't wear shorts. Even in personal time, I don't wear shorts. Not what I'm about. Pants
I
year
love
round.
cargo shorts.
Yep, I'm about the pants. So summertime you'll come down. I just got to convince your wife. I think we could do this. That'd be pretty simple, actually.
I don't think she's ever. We've been to Georgia. I don't think we've ever been to Georgia. No.
Oh, this would be good.
Hey, I told you she loves Sailor Moon, so we can come down for Comic Con.
Dragon Con, not Comic Con.
Dragon Con, sorry, Dragon Con.
Hey, come on down. I'll take you to the airport, tour you around there. Your kiddos, they might enjoy seeing all the airplanes and everything. Take you to a Chick-fil-A. Take you around all the different areas. But what were you about to say? You were about to say something.
No, just reading through the comments. Yoda said he bought a bunch of Carhartt t-shirts with pockets. He likes them. Let's see. Matco creeper for $3,000. Wow.
My job provides creepers. Serious.
Do you have like the top side creepers too, or no?
Whatever we want. All I gotta do is go in the system. As soon as I find it, order it.
Not bad at all.
Yep. But the type of equipment I work on, I really don't need a topside creeper. Once you start getting into ground support, you're dealing with oddball shit, usually crawling into it, not on top of. But that's when it gets fun to me. I like those challenges. I like different stuff.
Getting closer where I'm about to fucking fall asleep now.
Yeah.
All right. I'd rather just wrap it up now instead of waiting another 7 minutes.
Whatever you want to do, man. I'm good.
Right. So I guess we'll wrap it up. Appreciate all you guys that are in the chat and all you guys that did win it. Just I think I just checked my email. Most of you guys did win. I'm not too sure if Michigan Mechanic messaged me or not. I do have an email from somebody that I don't really know, so I don't know if it's him or Ammo. So I'll definitely email them back to see who it is, to see who won what. But appreciate all you guys watching and all you guys support. I've had a blast. I always appreciate having some conversations with Chad from Everyday Fleet Tech. So if you guys already should be subscribed to his channel. So
yeah, I'm nobody. I just rant and rave and piss people off. That's all.
Michigan Mechanic, just make sure you email me for that last sticker. But appreciate you guys for watching. Anything Chad wants to say to get out of here?
Nope. Appreciate having me on, and y'all have a good one.
All right, guys. Everybody have a great one. It's going to be 410. Auto Tech out.
Later.
And broadcast.